All right.
Yo.
Hello, YouTube, and welcome to the Radio BrendoMan Bonanza.
Bonanza.
Because it's a bonanza of Radio BrendoMan.
Indeed.
It's not just one, it's two, and then some pre-show and in-between stuff. And
Oh, yeah, so we got a special activity we're going to start
well,
out
I'm
with.
trying to guide the pre-show a little bit
To
so
get
that
us
we don't
into it
just
faster.
go on and on.
That's good. All right. I'm excited. Now, I don't know. I can't remember if I watched the video.
I think you would know if you had watched this
Maybe
video.
I haven't then.
You would definitely
posted
know.
it in the thing.
I posted it saying, "This is the craziest music video I've ever seen in my life."
Okay, then I didn't watch it.
And you,
then.
because I thought that would just make you want, but
I don't know. Did you post it over the weekend?
No, this was a while ago. I don't know. But it's hard to keep up sometimes.
It is. Sometimes there's like tons of stuff in there, and then I forget to like look through it.
Okay, well, we're gonna play. So the game I want to play is what does Phil is guess the plot, guess what you're about to see.
Okay.
Because my prediction is that just given on like the title of the song, maybe if you know anything about Billy Ocean, you know, like Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car.
You writing about that.
Okay.
But I haven't. I just didn't watch them.
So, you know, Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car. Just like a nice like 80s R&B top 40 like hit maker. No, nothing edgy, nothing so
they talked about him a lot on Everybody Hates Chris. He was like his favorite artist.
Yeah. So let's just think about that.
Okay.
And I want to hear what do you think this video is? What do you think it's going to be like? What do you think of the plot? Maybe.
I mean,
the song is called Loverboy.
Thing, like he's like a romantic walk on the beach.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Okay. Between like like a man and his lover.
Yeah, that would be my guess based on Loverboy.
Yeah.
And I see a picture of a beach and a horse.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready to find out
I think I'm ready.
if you're true or if this is true or not?
Okay.
Because you think Loverboy. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah. You ready?
All right.
Because I don't think you're ready for what you're about to see.
This is like the real one.
Yeah. This is real. This is 100% real. We're going to turn this up here.
All right.
This is 100% real. I'm not even...
Space. A constellation.
And then one more game. At the end, I want you to tell me how what you've just seen ties into anything related to the song.
Okay. It's kind of like a Willy Wonka, like going down the tunnel right now, a little bit. Okay, so yeah, right down the beach, a horse, someone with him.
I can't. You have no.
What the heck?
There you right away.
What is it, like a druid or something?
Oh, dude, your guess is as good as mine. What is that?
Like a monster.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it gets so much better.
Is this like for a sci-fi movie that they never made? Look at the like.
So they were talking about this on Purple Stuff podcast, and Dinosaur Dracula thinks that they just went to the like Skywalker Ranch like garage sale and like bought everything there.
Yeah, there's like a Popeye there.
Like, what is happening right now?
What does that have to do with anything? It's like in like it looks like Tatooine.
I know. I don't know. How do I not?
Then you have like these Popeye, like Donald Duck guys.
Yeah. How did I not know this existed until like 2 weeks ago?
And those ones look like they're from like the Dark Crystal or something. That's like a Jawa.
So they introduced this as like, and that's like a sex. These are like Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
You got like Dark.
Yeah, that's
Crystal,
totally Dark Crystal.
And then those are like the Skeksis.
Yeah.
Like. Nuts, right?
What the heck? And that's like Labyrinth, like one of the goblins from Labyrinth or something. Do you think he was aware that this was happening? Like the day
well, because look at what he's wearing. I think because he's wearing like a Han Solo jacket and he's dancing around. And then I looked at some of his, even the Get Out of My Dreams, Get Out of My Car video is kind of weird. A lot of his videos are weird, and he was like a huge pop star.
How did this? How is this not like a thing everyone is talking about?
I don't know. I don't know. I think because people automatically think Billy Ocean Loverboy is just going to be some generic video and they never even bothered to investigate. I don't know, because I don't remember ever seeing this on MTV, ever. And I watched a lot of MTV. I don't know. So Dinosaur Dracula put this on the Purple Cell podcast because it was things like the top 10 unintentionally scary things. Because he's like, I watched this when I was like 7 and it scared me to death.
Like demon monsters.
Like all these monsters and the horse monsters and like, what is even happening right now?
The TV head guy. This guy looks like a...
You got a Jabba the Hutt guy. You got they're shooting everybody.
Like that one robot looks like Tom Servo.
No, he knows what's going on.
Yeah, because he's in front of like an evaporator or whatever on Tatooine. And he's wearing like a Han Solo shirt.
I just feel like he's like, I want Star Wars, but they didn't quite have the budget. And then they're also like, what does this have to do with Loverboy? And he's like, I don't care.
What the heck? I don't understand.
It's crazy.
And she has like bullets around her.
Look at the little Jawas.
I mean, that's just Jawas. They just stole that. Those are just Jawas. But they're like Fly Girl Jawas, kind of. Then you have like those.
So basically, typing. I think he like kidnaps this girl, but she goes willingly, and then they take off.
Or did he rescue her?
He rescued her. So what? But he's like a weird horse guy.
No, they totally shot that up in Malibu, though.
Yeah, dude.
But what?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
What? All right, and then they're riding off into the sunset, I guess.
Yeah, dude. I started watching other Billy Ocean videos, and this is by far the most weird. But they're and then that's the end. That's a freeze frame. Is that guy go? But even because at first I'm like, okay, what's his most popular song? It's got to be this, right? Yeah. This video is kind of goofy. Like, watch this. Like, I think he was like, I don't want to make traditional music videos because, like, he's got this like freaking talking, singing fish and stuff, and like, I don't remember this either. This is like the stuff that my mom played in her band, but like, look at this. So, and
this
then I look at
fits more.
Yeah, at least it fits. But it's still really goofy. But like a lot of his other videos are kind of goofy. Like I think he didn't want to make like generic music videos, so he makes these kind of. But at least this follows the plot of the song.
Right, it has something to do with
that other video.
Like, it's talking about dreams, so you got like an animated.
Oh, that's true.
Like that makes sense.
But
it's so goofy.
It's still goofy. But that video is like something.
The other one is
I think he got his get out of my dream because I also looked and like Loverboy came after, so I think he had his get out of my dreams money, and he just like I'm gonna make Star Wars. Make Star Wars. That's pretty nuts.
Michael Jackson did Captain EO. Maybe that's his like Captain EO.
Maybe he's like, I'll show that Captain EO.
In Everybody Hates Chris, he's always like talking about how Michael Jackson stole his moves from Billy Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he was like stealing back after he did Captain EO. He's like, I'll take this.
That's definitely possible.
I don't know if that fits in the timeline. Or did Michael Jackson steal Captain EO from Billy Ocean? Which one came out first?
I don't know.
We got to find this out. Cap, just look up real quick. What year did Loverboy come out? And then what year did it with Captain EO?
So it was before Captain EO.
Oh my gosh. So Michael Jackson really did steal everything from him.
Yeah, that video is from 1985.
Because Captain EO was like 89, 88, 87. Definitely after 84.
Oh yeah, it was like 87. They like made it in 1986.
Dude. Because have you ever seen like Billy Ocean dance moves? Like Billy Ocean, Michael Jackson dance
moves,
right?
Billy Ocean's dance moves is very Michael Jackson.
Okay.
And Billy Ocean's like at the peak. Billy Ocean was like a little bit before Michael Jackson, especially like yeah, man.
So did Michael Jackson then say Billy Ocean did a Star Wars thing? I want to do a Star Wars thing.
The other thing is Dinosaur Dracula also said this is the most understated Wikipedia, like the most understated. It's because he went online expecting to have some like huge giant Wikipedia article about this, and it says The music video was shot at Dirtledore and features a rider on horseback riding up the coast to a bar built inside a cave.
That does not describe what I just watched, even like
So
remotely.
and he's like, what? Like,
who wrote that? What is Dirtledore?
I don't know, but we're about to find out. Now so it's in Dorset, England.
Oh, interesting.
So not Malibu.
Looks a lot like Malibu.
So they went to England. They had a lot of money.
Because he's from the United States, right? He's not British.
Well, now, geez, you don't ask that question because now we got to find out. I don't think he's British. Oh, he is British.
Oh,
he's
born
from
in Trinidad.
But then he went to
England.
England.
I did not know that.
Well, there you go. He was born Leslie Sebastian Charles.
Huh.
Yeah, he's pre-Michael Jackson. So yeah.
Right. Well, at least like later Michael Jackson. Jackson 5, you know.
But I don't know. I almost want to I'm like, because I looked at it and I'm like, is he on Twitter? And he's not really on Twitter because I'm like, I just want to be like, dude, come on.
What's up with that?
And also, how is this not like a bigger thing? I feel like how has this not been analyzed? Why aren't there just giant? I'm like, how have we not I don't know, our whole nostalgia pop world? How is they not descended upon this?
Just now come to
I don't know.
Crazy.
He lives in England, so we can't just be like, hey.
Well, if any of our English listeners who are watching the YouTube thing right now want to hit up Billy Ocean and ask him what the heck, you should do that. That's crazy. Oh,
so Get Out of My Dreams was after. So it wasn't Get Out of My Dreams money. It was just money.
So he just
he just made that video.
Wow. Wait, then he did a video with Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner. Oh, for the Romancing the Stone. That's why.
I want to see that video.
Dude, you see that? It was banned because they were all the cast members, white cast members, were miming to the backing vocals. I don't know. What does that make sense? Oh, because they're non-union. I thought it was more racy than that.
Banned by the BBC. Oh, yeah, because BBC is super strict about that stuff. Okay.
I thought maybe there was more controversy than that. So.
Oh, I thought because at first I thought of they talk about blackface.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first too. Oh my gosh, what's this? But no, just they weren't union.
Not union. That's not exciting.
That video was pretty exciting though.
Well, I'm glad. There you go. That's the pre-show activity.
That's it. All right, that's good. So now we start. That's good. That helps us be on time.
In a
manner of speaking.
In our own way.
So while you're starting up there, I just heard back this afternoon from iTunes and Google Play and TuneIn about the Alex P.
Did you got your feed working and everything?
So yeah, so it's all up on those. I haven't heard back from Stitcher yet.
Stitcher's weird. Sometimes you show up and they don't even tell you.
Oh, I hadn't even think to look.
But I don't know. I mean, usually they should get back to you. But I remember for popsicles, I never actually got a thing, and then it was there.
Okay. Well, maybe I wonder, since I already have another one on there, if they're not, they'll make a big deal or something. But anyway, I just got those, so it's exciting. It's up.
Well, then you just put the URLs in the fields where it tells you to, and then
I haven't done.
And then you can add the listen to this podcast widget in your menu widgets.
Okay.
I can show you.
Okay. But
it's pretty easy to manage.
It made sense because it's real easy going.
So there's a menu. There's widgets, and one of the widgets is subscribe to this podcast, and you have to add it to your widgets, and then you can choose where you want it, and you can choose which widgets. So if there's widgets on your side menu that you don't want there, you can remove them. That's in the widgets.
Notice, by the way, menu. The Jetpack already got screwed up again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's up. Although it's still working because it's on Alex P. Keaton and it works there.
Wait, it got screwed up already on
Mandarin Orchard. Yeah, the form is broken again. I can't. Well, and then I tried to
reinstall
it and it's doing the same thing.
No, you can't. I have to I have to go into the for some reason the files are getting deleted.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't do anything to it.
No, I don't know what it's doing because it's happening on. I don't know. I'm trying to fix it.
Well, you don't have to stress about it. I'm not worried. But it is I was like, what? It's just fixed.
But is it doing the statistics?
Mm-mm.
So it's not doing anything.
Mm-mm. But it is still working on Alex B. Keaton.
Yeah. Did you sign up? You should sign up for the Blueberry statistics, because then you get your podcast statistics.
Oh yeah, I should do. Okay,
sign up for that.
I saw that.
Put that in your list of things.
I just haven't done it yet.
That's how, like, you know, on Radio BrendoMan, we have like can see, like, in here, like these, like that shows the actual.
So I need to actually do that then.
Yeah.
Dang, that's pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Doing all right.
Look at that. Because I just got the emails back like this evening. So I haven't done that stuff yet. I will. I got to finish editing episode 2. We'll go up tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, probably.
Cool.
So I was thinking, if you want to, for next week, you should guest host episode 3 if you want to.
When do you record that?
Well, sometime. I'm thinking maybe like Sunday.
I'd be down for that.
Because it would be after we get our appraisal done.
Yeah.
So that'd be good.
All right.
Well, we'll see. We'll have to do that right now. Because my plan is to put them out on Tuesdays.
Okay. We didn't even check the microphone.
Oh, we should do that.
Check. Hello.
Check it out. Check it out. That was my hip hop mic test.
Dork. Check. Hello.
Check it out. Check. There it goes. It's working.
We don't have any mail.
Well, we read like.
We haven't done anything on mail.
Time.
Can't. So I'm going to do the Janelle thing. Oh no, I don't want to do the show. You can't do that. That's if you do. If you cannot.
Told her that.
If that's going to be how you're gonna like, that'll you'll get really.
She'll get really sad
really quickly.
I know. She's going to be okay.
Because I just think about like how often do I write in?
I told her that too. I'm like, how many shows do you listen to or do you watch? How many times have you ever written to those people? None.
The fact that you get any mail is kind of a miracle.
Because I think Cheryl was saying like it's not fair that we already were getting mail. And I was like, well, we had people that came over from our show, and that's why. And
we had a built-in audience, and our show, like our format, is more conducive to that.
Right. Like, hers is not. It's not as interactive, which is fine. Yeah. That's not what it is. Yeah. But that's some of the nature of it.
But I mean, you'll get it.
Yeah.
It'll happen. Also, we've been around for a long time.
Yeah, long time.
It took us a while to really get the things that we had. Maybe another 10 years.
It'll happen. Don't worry.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Radio BrendoMan. I'm Brendan Creecy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
And it's I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you had like a little party this weekend.
Well, it was just really busy weekend, which we'll get into, but I did a lot of stuff. I don't even know, what did I do on Friday? Well, I didn't do anything on Friday, but I stayed up late because I was watching. We'll talk about that. Oh, I forgot to put that in the thing. Oh crap. Well, I watched Mascots on Friday.
Oh,
have you watched it yet?
No.
Oh, I was gonna text you, but I'm like, Phil knows about Mascots is out. It's Mascots.
I haven't gotten to yet.
I assume that you.
What did you think?
Oh my God, it's so good.
Okay.
I mean, Corky St. Clair, he's in it. He's in it quite a bit.
I haven't gotten to yet. I need to.
So funny.
Oh
There's the funniest. I think this was in the trailer, so I don't think it's a spoiler.
Okay.
But one of the funniest jokes in the whole thing is, so it's like a mascot convention basically, and then it's like a contest for like the world's best mascot.
Right.
And a furry sneaks in, and he's like, and it's just like an ongoing plot where this rabbit furry like just walks up to the mascots and starts, because I guess they have like this whole greeting thing with furries, and he's like basically like doing stuff, and so the guy that's playing the organizer is always like chasing him, trying to chase him out. He's like, "You get out of here!" And it's really, really funny.
Oh man, I gotta watch it.
And they got it. They got like almost everybody's back. The only people that aren't in it are like Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy, and I think that's because they're doing their show.
Yeah, which I still want to watch that too.
That's on Hulu now, I think.
I think so. Yeah. I just added it on a queue somewhere. So.
Yeah, I know I added it somewhere. I just don't know where. I have so many. I have so many queues now.
Oh my god!
Because you guys were talking about CISO on Mandarin Orange Show. Because I'm all about so I was getting annoyed because CISO's like web menu is like garbage.
Okay.
And you can't like it doesn't autoplay and like so like let's say there's like a season like if you want to watch Harmon Quest, there's no way to just add the season. You have to they have a playlist and you have to add the individual episodes.
Well,
and
weird.
Then like it's weird and so there's no way to just go on like watch like and their menu is really clunky and there isn't an app for like there isn't a CISO app on like PlayStation, so I have to like watch. I have to have my computer and then I do a Chromecast,
right?
Which was fine, but it was also just weird,
inconvenient.
And so they're on Amazon Prime now as a channel, and so I canceled my CISO subscription and then re-signed up through Amazon because that's the only way you can't. If you have an existing CISO subscription, you couldn't. There was no way to port that over to Amazon. It was like a set, which I thought was another thing. There. So I canceled CISO and then got. But you do end up getting a week free through Amazon.
How much is it? How much is it
a
month?
It's like $3.99.
All right.
But there was enough shows that I wanted to watch because like their exclusive shows are really good.
Well, you heard like Matthew and I watched the trailers for all of them.
And so because like we'll get into it, but like right now I'm watching. So I finished. Take My Wife, which I really, really loved. And then, but now I'm watching Bajillion Dollar Properties, which like makes fun of the, and it's so good. It's so funny. Like, it's so funny. And then there's plenty of other, like Harmon Quest is great. And then there's a bunch of other ones that I want to watch that are on there. And then they have like tons of like stand-up comedy specials and like some movies.
Have you watched the Funniest People in New York one? Or
I haven't watched that yet. But now that you guys are talking about it, I will definitely add it. But I just like but so far everything I've watched on there has been great. I just like you said, there's already so much. I just don't know but like I really wanted to watch those shows. So it may be something that I like
have for a bit
and then leave and then come back to. But it's only $4, so like whatever.
Yeah, it's not something that was not appealing. It's just like I can't even keep up with already tons of stuff I already have.
It's really I saw another big wave of articles or like Netflix has like a quarter of the movies they used to have and it's terrible. And I'm like, if you can't find something to watch on Netflix, I'm sorry, but something is wrong with you.
You're not trying. They haven't even looked.
Just because they don't have these they don't have these movies that you've seen a million times, but they have tons of stuff that you probably haven't seen.
Well, like, imagine they would be complaining the same way if they never changed their catalog and it's the same thing they had 10 years ago.
Yeah. And movies that you've seen tons of times.
You gotta rotate through. And a lot of those movies then come over to Amazon.
So it's like it's still cheaper than having cable if you have like a few of those.
Yeah.
It's like
and it's so much better.
And it's like just way better because you can watch them whenever you want and at your convenience.
And no commercials.
The Netflix exclusive stuff alone is worth the price.
Gosh, absolutely.
I mean, like think about all the Netflix shows and what's coming. And then like Amazon just announced they're getting Studio Ghibli is making a show for Amazon.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And like they got
dead.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it like it's done.
It's I think it's Miyazaki's son is working on it, and they already got because they have one of their big things in the last few years has been not the last few years, but for a long time has been their American dubbed voices are like really good,
right?
And they've already signed Gillian Anderson, who's one of their. She's done a lot of the she's been in other things for them, and so she's gonna be one of the voices already.
Yeah, like their Ponyo one is dead on. What's the other one? We just watched another one.
Well, they're all really good. I still watch the original, but if you have kids,
it's kind of essential.
Yeah.
Although they're catching up to where they can do that now, but it's harder.
Yeah, but still, but the fact that it's not just because some dub stuff is just so bad that it takes away from watching it, and their stuff I've never felt. And then a lot of them are just really good. Like you wouldn't even know it was like a dub job.
Absolutely. And I think
because they take a lot of care,
yeah.
and their partnership with Disney,
Yeah, definitely.
and that kind of stuff helps a lot.
Well, I know the one we just watched was The Secret Life of Arietti.
Oh yeah,
that one was really good, and again, like beautiful.
Wasn't that the Borrowers?
The Borrowers,
one?
Yeah.
And I know you guys have been on a big watching.
In fact, we just got another book.
All the spin-offs.
Yeah, well, because there's, I guess, like there was an original movie like a long time ago. Then they did the John Goodman live action one.
Then there's The Littles.
The Littles is based on a separate.
I know,
series,
but it still
crazy.
Seems like it has to be like a Borrowers ripoff.
Well, and there's like we looked into the history of it, and they're completely a ripoff, and yet there's no like. I don't see any history of lawsuit or anything. Like,
well, it's probably because of international copyright laws.
Yeah, but they were books by I think it was like a British lady or something. Like, I don't know, maybe
it's different enough. But it's not different enough.
Really, though, it really isn't. Like they have different family members.
Because there was a minute where I was like, my memory was a little hazy, where I'm like, were the Littles not people? But then I'm like, look back, I'm like, oh no, they were people.
Yeah.
Because for some reason in my head, I thought maybe the Littles were like mice or something.
The only difference is they have tails.
Oh, that's right.
That's the one.
Maybe that's how they get away with it.
Tails. It's not people. They got tails.
They have tails.
They're Littles.
So here's my new book. So it's just add tails.
Yeah,
and then
if you put tails on it, you're cool. Yeah.
This is Rat Man.
Right, he's got a tail.
He's got a
totally different. And I don't know, the Joker with a tail. Tailed Joker. That's it. That's all I gotta do. Put tails.
Put tails on them.
I'm gonna make star tails.
Star tails.
And they'll all just have tails.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
It works. It's legal. You can do
it. Like this weekend, I did a double haunt weekend. I did Knott's on Saturday, so that was my second time in Knott's.
Yeah.
And then we did Universal on Sunday. They had a special ticket because I was already dropping the dough for the front of the line pass, and it was another $50 if you wanted to come in. It was like a day-night combo where you came in at 2:00, and then I don't know if I would. Depending on if you're gonna do, because here's where I would, because if you have front of the line, the early entry into Horror Nights isn't really necessary.
Okay.
Because like
you just get done with it so fast.
But if you're not gonna do the front of the line, you have to do early entry for the Halloween Horror Nights mazes, because otherwise like you probably, because the maze lines are just nuts.
Huh.
But if you do the early entry, they're like there's 5 mazes. 5 of the mazes are open, the ones at the bottom of the park, and the lines are like non-existent. So you can get those 5 out of the way, but then you're still going to be waiting in crazy lines for the remaining ones.
Right.
But I guess that's how you're able to get everything done. But the early entry time was very annoying because they basically are like closing the park down while keeping some of it open, and there's just tons of people yelling at you and telling you can't go places. And this was also really weird for the people that did the and this was where it was like very like, I wish I had known some things ahead of time.
Okay.
Because like the rest of my friends were meeting for dinner at like 5:30. I'm like, well, that's fine. I'll just leave and go eat dinner with them and then come back in. There's no re-entry after 6 p.m. So
at all?
Yeah. And so like I couldn't leave and come back. And so I'm basically stuck in the park until Halloween Horror Night starts.
That's weird.
It was very weird.
How can they do that?
I don't know. It was goofy. So I couldn't leave to go have dinner with my friends at City Walk. And so I'm like, well, I'll just eat at the park. Between like the rest, like they closed all the restaurants in the park at like 5 and they weren't reopening until 7. So there was 2 hours where there was one out of all, they have all those great restaurants and they have all the Simpsons stuff, and all of that was closed except for one hot dog cart. And they were basically sold out of everything. So there was no food. And I'm like, it was a first. I'm like, hey, I'm at a theme park and I want to spend money. Yeah, I'm waving my money around. And
like, why? Like, you would think they'd want you to go spend money. I don't understand why they won't let you do the re-entry.
It was very goofy.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, if I had because I didn't know that until I got in and I look at the thing and I'm like, because it wasn't in the information before I bought it.
Right.
And it was like, oh, no re-entry after 6. And so I'm like, well, I can't go eat dinner. And then I couldn't leave. So I ended up just like, I went on all like, I also didn't want it, because I could have gone and done mazes, but my friends were coming, and I also didn't want to do them by myself because I was too scared. Because let me tell you, I will get into it later, but holy crap. And also I wanted to have that fresh experience with them. And so after, because then they closed, some of the rides closed at like 5:30. So there was a period where the only things that were open were the mazes. And that was it.
So what's the point of doing it unless you're doing?
Yeah, I guess my whole thing was like, you have this mix-in thing, and then you won't let people leave the park and come back, like, and like that was really just like unfortunate. So I don't know if I would do that again, and like the mix-in thing. But if I wasn't doing the front of the list, this is my tip for everybody: is if the mix-in thing is good, because then you can direct. You're already in the park when the early entry starts.
Right.
So if you already know ahead of time, between the hours of 5 and 7, you can't eat anything.
You can't leave.
And you can't leave. If you're fine with that, and you just, because you will be able to do those 5 mazes before 7 o'clock, no problem.
What if you like left your medication in the car?
I know
like
those no re-entry rules just seem like lawsuits waiting to happen.
Wasn't Knott's kind of like that?
Oh, Knott's is like that. They are absolutely
like the whole night.
No re-entry.
That's nuts. That's right. Disney doesn't do that.
I think it's because they have a problem, like people leaving
sneaking in or something.
Well, not even that. Well, probably that. They don't even want to have to deal with that.
Right.
And like it's a staffing thing, and also like people leaving to like do drugs, do whatever, and then come back in all drunk and wait and like all thing. But they sell alcohol in the park.
Yeah, so, like I don't see how that's gonna really solve anything. Other than maybe like they're trying to curb people like sneaking in or passing off a ticket or something.
Although I think at Universal they do stop selling. They don't sell alcohol at Haunt, and maybe it's again to curb drunk people getting drunk. But there's still like, I wish there would have been a way for me to like give my like. I don't mean I know like because like I don't know like it just seemed like now I'm trapped. But if you're good, and also if you're gonna lock people in your park, you should sell food to them,
right?
Instead of just I'm telling you, it was a hot dog cart
and no rides.
And it was just mazes, and I would get that but again, like I just assumed that there was at least, because I'm fine with the no rides, because like, but like if at least it would have been a good time for dinner, but I couldn't eat dinner, and I was like stuck in there, and there was like only one bathroom open. I don't know, it was like kind of nuts.
That's weird.
And like it was just a lot of people like yelling, and I don't know.
How do they know you're allowed to stay? Do they have a bracelet?
Wristband. It was like the same thing.
So why are they yelling if you have a wristband? It feels like they're not.
Well, there's only certain places you can go, and if you try to like go other places, and they're like constantly like moving stuff around. So they're like, you need to clear this area. We're putting this, and I'm like, I don't even know where to go, because you go one place and like you got to move, and then go to another place. You got to move out of here, and I'm just like, I'm getting paid. I'm paying to get yelled at by people. I don't like this. And Derek had warned me about that, but I didn't have any choice, because I wanted to go there early, because I wanted to do I want to do Harry Potter stuff, which we'll get into, and I wanted to do the daytime tram tour, because I hadn't done it since they put in Fast and the Furious.
Okay.
And they had some other new stuff, and I love the tram tour. Like I love it. So, and I hadn't been in like 5 years, so I wanted to do that, and I wanted, and also like, and that was about it. That was to me, Harry Potter World and the tram tour was worth the extra $50. But the annoyance. Oh yeah, I did the Minion ride, because that was also closed during Horror Nights, so I got to do that.
Okay.
And the front of the line, it was front of the line for like most of the rides, even during the day. Cool. So it was worth it.
Did you watch Waterworld? Did
not watch. I was gonna watch it on the because I went to go see if because Christopher Daniels, a wrestler, he's Deacon. But he only is Deacon like on during the week. Because but I just want to see, and he wasn't, because I'm like, oh yeah, he wrestles on weekends. So
all right.
But then I was like, I've seen it enough times. It is a great show.
It's just crazy to me that it's still Waterworld.
It is, but it's a great show.
Seeing as how it went through 3 iterations while we were kids, and then it's just stuck in time.
It was Miami Vice for a long time.
Yeah.
Like. It was Miami Vice, and it was also Miami Vice for at least 5 or 6 years after the show.
Yeah, but it's been Waterworld like
Waterworld
for like
I think
20 years
now. Because like I think it's just because like the money to like get to do another big giant show it would probably be a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they have it, and it's there.
It's a good show.
And it would probably be too much money, and so I don't know. I think it's got to be it, right? Because why else? Because it's not like they have a library of movies they could do. They could get something else. Like they could, but then like it can't be cheap, and they'd have to like because they if they wanted to reuse that same, because the whole reason why they did Waterworld, because they already had the water, they'd have to do another, because they couldn't build a whole new arena, because that would be way too much money. So it would have to be something that they took the Miami, that's why they were able to do Waterworld.
It's basically Miami Vice just degraded, because that's what it is.
And so they'd have to find another water, they could use the people would care about. Did
they do The Shallows?
Would just
the
be
one-woman stunt show.
That would just be a girl in the water.
Yeah. The shark would,
and then it would. They might as well just do the Jaws show.
Yeah,
it's just Jaws eating people, and then they blow up Jaws.
Yeah, it's great.
That's I would watch that.
It'd be fun.
I'd watch a Jaws show.
I don't know if that's like it's kid friendly. Maybe that's why. Although I don't know, Waterworld is PG-13.
People get shot.
Yeah, machine guns. So smokers.
Because because it isn't in the Miami Vice show, it was like a helicopter that came in, and now it's like that big plane.
Right.
So it's
the water plane or whatever.
Yeah.
What? I mean, I know I went and saw 18, but I can't remember. Like, it was the water was not there with 18, was it?
I don't remember, dude. I think I was like 4 or 5.
I definitely know that we went and saw it.
I feel like the water was there.
Maybe so.
I'm sure there's a video.
Beach. Oh yeah.
But I remember. But I definitely remember like the 18 van.
Yeah, that whole. I think people don't. I've talked to people who don't believe me that they used to stop in the middle of the tram and do like a whole separate like thing.
Oh,
in the middle of the tram ride.
Well, the tram, like you stopped and got off and like went through like the costume area, and then there was that whole stunt, not the stunt thing, but the thing where they put you. They had like you were like in the spacesuit, and like all that. There was like the different shows. Showed, like, how effects. That was like in the middle of the old tram tour was like 2-3 hours long.
And that was like the main attraction.
That was like the attraction. Well, there was because other than that, there was like the Conan show,
which I loved,
which was amazing. And
a couple other like stunt shows,
like a couple other things. I mean, there was like a couple other. There was like this. I think there was the animal show.
Yeah.
And like there was another special effects show. I feel like.
Yeah. Well, because there was the one that
Alfred Hitchcock. I feel like that was on the tour. Was that on the tour?
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe
a lot of that was part of the tour.
I mean, obviously it was updated and stuff, but I think you're right. There's a couple.
And then you could like talk to Kit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then the ET ride.
See, that came later.
That was later too.
That took because Conan became the Star Trek experience, and then the ET ride. I think they just built that. But that was because the first time I went to the park, I think was in '85, and because Battlestar Galactica was still there.
Yeah.
And Conan was still there, and the A-Team Stunt Show was still there, and so I think that was '85, maybe '84. Because I just remember. I've told this story a bunch of times, but my whole thing was we get on the tour because that's what we do, and I did not know that meant because I don't know, in my 5-year-old brain, I assumed that Jaws and King Kong were like separate were rides, right. Like we're rides, right. And so when the doors open in that giant building and we're in King Kong, I flipped out, completely flipped out because I was like, no. Absolutely. Like, wait, we don't even get to choose. Like,
you're already on it.
I was ready to like have like am I gonna do this? Am I not gonna do this? Do that whole thing.
You're locked
and we were on like a YMCA trip, so it wasn't like I got to pick because like we're just like with the adults and we're going wherever they're gonna go. So we're on this thing and like so it was happening whether I liked it or not. And at first I was very terrified, and I feel like I was terrified the whole time. But by then it was like good terrified.
Right.
But at first I was like. Because I'm like, that's King Kong. Like, because again, like I'm a little kid. That is King Kong is in this building and he's gonna kill us.
It's very
and then
very
like
convincing.
That is Jaws. Like that's Jaws.
Yeah.
Like there's a shark in there. He ate that old dude. So remember, it used to be there's like a dude on a fishing boat, and they'd like talk to him, and he'd be like, hey. Well, now it's like a scuba diver. And he's just like, they're like, yeah, we got a diver out there. And then that was like, oh, dude, that guy has been gone for a long time.
Okay, I probably have seen it without it, and I just blocked it out.
But yeah,
and then like caught on the fishing pole.
Yeah, he'd be like, hey, what's going on out there? And he'd be like, oh, I'm out there. And like, he'd be like, ugh. Now it's just a diver, and you see him up there, and then he like gets.
But they still is like recorded dialogue or something, right? Okay.
And then I remember the first time going on the Battlestar Galactica ride and just seeing real actors like interact with like that was like crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're used to like Disneyland rides. So like that was like a whole different experience. You're like, those are actual people. That guy's shooting that Cylon. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy. So then I'm like, this is really real. Like, this is real. And then like the Conan show, you're like, those are real people. So if those people are real, that is a real dragon.
Right.
Like, that is a real dragon. I remember coming home and be like, Mom, I saw a dragon. Dragons are real. I saw one. Because you're like, those are real people. So that hence, therefore, that must be real.
When the wizard guy like gets frozen into the stone.
Dude.
Oh my gosh.
That was nuts.
Love that.
I've watched video of that show. Like, it holds up.
Yeah.
Like, Universal doesn't mess around when it comes to that stuff.
No, they've always done really good.
So what's going on with you?
Man, mine was a lot less exciting of a weekend. We went to a birthday party out in Orange County on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was nice seeing our friends and stuff, and the kids had fun. It was a kid birthday party.
What was the theme? Or?
It was, you could probably guess this. It was girls, like one guess.
Frozen?
Oh, no. Like more
My
modern.
Little Pony?
More modern and more collectible.
Oh, Shopkins?
It was Shopkins.
A Shopkins themed birthday
party. Everything was Shopkins.
Was this for Ava?
This was for Ellie.
Yeah,
younger sister. And man,
you get a lot of Shopkins.
There's a lot of Shopkins there. I mean, we gave them Shopkins.
Did they get She get how many?
She got a lot of Shopkins. And amazingly enough, like not a whole lot of duplicate stuff because there's enough. Like we found they have these like knockoff Lego Shopkins now where you build a kit, but it also comes with them and they like sit on it and stuff. So we got her some of those. It was fun. I mean, it was fun seeing our friends. We hadn't seen their new house and stuff, but in the end, it was a kid birthday party, so whatever. And we saw Josh and Rachel, though.
That's cool.
That was like the bonus. So we had dinner with them afterwards.
Did you get to go over to Josh's and do the VR?
No, we just met because they were like out on a date day. So we met them at a restaurant.
I thought maybe you got to go over and.
No, he told me about the VR, but
I just listened to the Extra Damage where he was talking about it.
Oh yeah. Well, he was very excited about it. At some point, we'll go over and check it out.
He's got PlayStation VR, but I would not be surprised if he ends up like buying one of the other ones.
Oh, well, he's got to. He's got a podcast about it.
Yeah.
We also talked about the upcoming Extra Life event, which is cool.
So I guess I forgot to put that in because we're gonna be plugging that on a regular basis now.
November 5th.
It's gonna be November 5th. When we get close to the event, we'll be able to tell you when Phil and I will be going out there.
Tell you. I know that.
Oh, you know,
middle of the night again. Man.
Well, obviously that, but like specific times.
Okay.
But but I mean, last year we ended up being we did like midnight to 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Last year.
Because the reason I say that is that the day of November 5th, like during the day, my mom is taking me on my birthday celebration thing where we go see movies all day. So I'm gonna have to go after that.
Yeah. Well, that should be exciting. So if you go to extradamage.com, click the Extra Life link. I mean, you can wait to donate. I mean, Josh, we like seeing the donations like when you're there. But if you want to donate now, you can. But keep that link. Keep it in mind. And that's also extradamage.com is where you're going to be able to watch the stream. And we're going to be streaming 24 hours, and we'll be on there. A bunch of other Benview Network people.
I know some good stuff we're going to be doing.
There's going to be lots of fun things. Oh, I have an idea of what's going to happen, and I don't know if I approve.
I know some good things.
And I know I'm aware of what.
It's going to be fun.
I'm excited for more of because you're going to be able to play games with us.
Yeah.
Like last year we did some of the Jackbox.
He said there's a new Jackbox.
Yeah, there's a new Jackbox coming out.
We're going to be playing that.
And so, because that was a lot of fun last year. Some people participated.
That's right.
Listeners participated.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be doing that again.
Like I think Old Restless, maybe some other people. I don't know who. Maybe not Old Restless. Some listeners were doing because you can go on your phone and play along with us, and
super fun.
It gets really goofy. Really, it's the only time Phil will be remotely dirty.
Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty PG.
Yeah, but it's Phil's version of being dirty.
Yeah.
And also just playing a lot of those games. Like, I hope we have to play Gang Beasts again this year.
Okay, so I'll tell you the ones that I requested because he asked if I had any requests.
Okay.
I requested Gang Beasts.
Yeah.
And then Jackbox, and then maybe like some VR type thing.
We're gonna be doing some scary VR, and
But then I also suggested Runbow. I don't know for
Yeah.
sure we're gonna do it. You can play that at our house.
yeah,
right?
I have it.
Oh, you have? Okay, right. Anyway, I was talking about because you can play like 8 players on
Yeah.
that, so that'd be a great one to do. But so he said he's gonna look into that. See if we'll do that one.
Well, then there's that other one that we always play with the where you shoot each other. What was that?
Oh, the ninja.
Yeah, the ninja one.
It's ninjas, right?
Yeah.
Or is it?
Well, there's like I don't know, but we always play that one.
Well, yeah, that's a classic. Like
where you have a sword and a gun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like 2 bullets and a gun or
Yeah,
something
I don't
like
know.
that. Whatever that one. I'm sure
That
we'll be
one's
playing that one, too.
awesome.
That's
But it's also and you'll be able to come, and we're raising money for CHOC, which Children's Hospital of Orange County, and we're
good
hoping to have a
cause.
record year. So get ready for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be
November
great.
5th.
and on into the 6th.
And it's gonna be so the night of November 5th, and it's because it's the daylight savings time is actually 25 hours.
Yeah, actually game.
So that's why we tend to be the lifesavers for Josh.
Yeah,
and
we're the second
Jesse,
wind.
because we help bring them into that, because that's like usually like last year he's like, I don't know if we would have been able to do it, like because we got Benson, because Benson was gonna leave, but then they stayed way longer because we were having so much fun.
Well, I think Gang Beast was kind of like that and Jackbox. Those are the 2 like big hits. I feel
Gang Beasts, we were like making up our own stories, and
oh my gosh,
so
that
much
game is
fun.
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's gonna be fun. That's only
exciting.
like what 2 weeks away or something.
Oh man, I can't believe it's already almost
3 weeks,
November.
I guess. Yeah, Audrey's birthday is next week.
So have you guys like figured out your Halloween plans?
No, we've been kicking around different ideas.
Because I mean, Audrey's birthday is that Saturday, and that's probably when they're gonna do the.
Yeah.
When are they doing the trick or treating stuff in like
know.
Redlands?
Well, I mean,
are they even doing that?
Halloween is a Monday, which is like that's a bum
that
deal.
Blows.
That's the worst day.
I remember back in the day, like back in school, if it was that was always just such a bummer.
Yeah, like, and it's the worst for teachers. Like I feel so they should make the day after Halloween should be a holiday for schools. Like it just should. There's no reason to make teachers have to deal with kids the day after Halloween because that's the worst. You're not gonna learn anything
coming
that
off
day.
Sugar highs.
They stayed up late. They're all grouchy. They're tired. They've been eating candy all night. They're not gonna learn anything. They're gonna talk about what they did.
Yeah.
There's no learning that's taking place. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I don't know. We haven't figured it out yet. We haven't decided. I'm sure we'll trick or treat somewhere.
I'm excited for John's Incredible Pizza.
Yeah, it's Audrey's birthday party.
Doing that, and then the next day, me and Steve are going to the Hollywood Palladium for NXT. It's also cool. Kamikaze that weekend, but I don't think I'm going to get out to any of that because there's so much other stuff going on. It's just too busy. And it's also that stupid Now Hear This festival.
Oh, yeah. It looks like it has fun shows.
I'm just against the whole concept now, especially since they're charging to interact with the podcasters, and that just seems like just against the foundations of podcasting.
Yeah. Oh,
it would be like if they had a webcomics convention, you had to pay to talk to
people.
Scott Kurtz.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
I mean, I get like if you're gonna do signings or something like that, okay, that's fine if you're at that point.
I still don't approve.
It just feels like to me.
I feel like it's against the spirit of the whole medium.
I mean, once they establish Podcast Fest and the way that works, I don't see how you could go back.
I think Dave Anthony said, it's just these corporate guys basically, and that's the whole reason why they did Podfest, because they're if we don't do this, some corporate,
right? And
then sure enough, that's exactly what happened.
Well, because this is what, the 5th year of Podfest?
Yeah.
So I mean, they had a good run.
Uninterrupted.
But no, I'm not saying they're not going to keep doing it.
And then it's just annoying that they did it a month after, because if they're that's fine to have multiple. It's not. I'm not against that, but then to basically it just seems It seems I don't know.
I don't think it seemed like it affected their attendance. Though.
No, not at all.
It was pretty well attended.
Not
this
at all.
Year, so that's.
It's just I don't like it.
It's kind of a bummer. But speaking of podcasters and Universal, did you see that Kumail got stuck on?
Oh yeah, we were talking about that. Derek was telling me about it because there was Kumail and Emily were in one, and then Jensen was in the boat behind them. And
on Jurassic Park the ride.
Jensen's story, I don't know which one. They both it sounded horrible. So they basically were up at the hill.
So
and
like at an angle.
And well, Jensen was like just looking down, and the lights went out, and they were basically like stuck there for like over an hour in the dark.
So
and
crazy.
Like, and then Kumail and Emily were where the first T-Rex comes out, like the first one. But Jensen was like just like this, like over, like staring down into the abyss, basically. Because then it's like you're thinking like, if this like lets go now, is it like what happens? Like, is it safe? Like, like what's gonna happen to this? And they were just like, and then like they were tweeting, and like and then like the Universal guys feel like we're coming to get you, and they took this picture, and and, like it's just like
they're great, really funny, like
but like
tweets,
it's really funny, but also just like holy crap. So because we were talking about that, because Derek and I rode on Jurassic Park in the dark, and like Lynch and Jordy, and we went with Lynch and it was Brian Lynch and Jordy, and then Chris Hayner went with us, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna go get some snacks.
They didn't want to get stuck on there.
I don't think they also didn't want to get wet, but you don't really get that wet on Jurassic Park if you sit in the middle.
It's like a spritz.
Yeah. Well, then I was like happy that I like made it pretty wet through, and then I got full on there's a spitter at the end.
Yeah.
Full on in the face. Just like right in the face.
Never know.
Yeah, but
anyway, I just thought
that story is nuts.
Yeah.
Because I could just because I know Jensen's like anxiety stuff. Like he's very open about it.
Yeah.
And like that must have not been a fun experience for him.
Well, like, what do they do then for them? Do they do anything to like make up for you were just stuck for an hour?
I assume they got like
slide?
Free passes or something.
Because that's just a bummer. Plus, you're like wasting all that time you could have been doing other stuff while you're there. I don't know.
I don't know. I just wouldn't like the fact that you're like on an incline and
because if
like
you're
stuck on the hill,
cannot be comfortable for that long.
That's what I mean. That's the thing that sounded the most crazy, because I don't know. You're like pressed against the thing. You're just like my brother got stuck on Revolution for like over an hour.
Really?
They were like bringing him. They were like stuck on a lift hill, I think, and they were like bringing him cups of water and like. Because they couldn't get the restraints. They're like stuck.
Well, plus they have to have a way to like safely get them out.
And they're like on the lift hill. And so like they were on there. They were like, because you know how hot it is there too. It's like in the middle of the summer.
Oh gosh.
It was nuts.
Spray a hose up at them.
Yeah. I heard a story about somebody that got stuck in a loop. Like that's just like
I know it's happened.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like I could not imagine.
No, like that would be really, really, really uncomfortable. You pass out.
I think people did pass out, and that was one of the things. Like people passed out.
Well, that's the other thing we did this weekend. We submitted a AFV video.
Yeah. Which one? What was it?
Okay, so this one was an Assignment America. For those that don't know, I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but Audrey and Luke have a dream.
Audrey's obsession in life.
She wants to get on AFV, America's Funniest Videos. And man, we've tried before. So anyway, they did an Assignment America one where they have the kids record a request of a type of video they want, and then they'll play them like after that. So they had an example, and they're like, we want to see people get hit in the crotch.
You have really cute kids.
Well, right. So here's what we did too. This is clever because AFV is owned by Disney. Mm-hmm. So we dressed them up in their costumes from a couple years ago. Luke is Mickey Mouse and Audrey is Minnie Mouse, but they're both like too big, so they're like bulging out of them. Okay, and then they're the one they want. They have these videos where they're on like the super swing and it shows people screaming and sometimes they pass out and stuff. So
those are the best.
I love those. Well, in this last episode, there was such a good one where this guy like passes out. He screams, he passes out, and then he wakes up and starts screaming again, and keeps passing out and screaming. Anyway. So their request is so we took them out on the swing set of death in the backyard. Yeah. And I like held it up. So Janelle's filming and I'm like out of frame holding the swing up. So they're at an angle and they're like, we want to see more people screaming on giant swings. And then I let go and they go, ah. And they're like, oh, screaming. Dude, you'll get on. They have to get on. Like it's so cute. And they're in their Mickey and Minnie costumes. I don't see how they could possibly turn that down.
I hope so. That'd be awesome.
So there's a chance. We'll cross on our fingers because I mean, Audrey, we've had practices. You've been there for like
Well, I've seen
practice.
where Audrey's like trying to come up with like AFV moments.
Yeah, she's like, Daddy, you should have videoed that. This would be great. Here, I'll do it again. And she'll like pretend to trip. And I'm like, yeah, that's totally going to be good on there. So I don't know. I think this is a possibility. I don't see how they could see that and not put them on there.
Well, I hope that works out.
So yeah, that was the other big thing this weekend. Pretty exciting weekend.
When I was a kid, my mom was convinced that like they had Mother's Cookies had like this contest to like for like advertisements, and you took pictures of your kids holding all these cookies. And I remember we were at Palm Springs on vacation because my mom found these pictures, and I was like, what? Why are we? Because we're like at the grocery store with like a cart. And she like took a cart in the grocery, so she didn't buy all these. We just did it in the grocery store. So go to the grocery store, and it's like, so it's us in a grocery store with this cart full of Mother's Cookies, and we're holding them up, and like, and she sent those in, just convinced they were gonna win. I'm like, I don't think that's
You're
what
so cute. Yeah. These people didn't even buy the cookies.
We're just in a grocery store with all the cookies. But I mean, I guess that would work for an advertisement, like kids in a grocery store.
I guess so, yeah.
But I don't think we were cute enough.
Well, plus, I mean, you got to figure the number of entries, like the chances. But see, my hope with AFV,
she did like a whole roll of film. So there's like 24 of these pictures of us in a grocery cart with cookies.
Oh my gosh! Like that cost a lot of money back then too to get that film developed.
Yeah.
Just to have the pictures of you with cookies.
Well, now there's a photo album.
You'll always have
those.
That's good. You know what else you'll always have? Easy access to podcast listening with the Stitcher app.
Yeah.
It'll never go away.
Yeah.
I don't think.
It could.
I mean, it might. On the internet, anything's possible. But at least currently, it's definitely there and easy to listen to.
I listen to podcasts on there.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's great. And if you're going to do that, go to radiobrendo.com, click the Stitcher link. Thumbs is up on there.
Yeah.
Use the code BrendoMan if you haven't signed up for a free Stitcher account.
Make a comment.
Mobile device. It works on your mobile devices, on your computer, even some like TVs and other devices. You have it. And you also make sure to rate and review, subscribe on iTunes. We always appreciate those reviews. That's a good way easy way to help out the show because iTunes is still the primary.
It is.
I know Mark Hershon's trying to
Soundcast
work, like trying to phase that out, and I think that's a noble effort.
Yeah, I appreciate the effort, definitely.
But you should also check out all the shows on the Benview Network. BenviewNetwork.com. We got a new show.
That's right, new show.
Alex P. Keaton is My Friend, hosted by Phil Vecchio.
That's right.
And you're up and running.
First episode is out.
Should be on iTunes. You're on iTunes.
It's on iTunes. It's on Google Play. It's on TuneIn.
Stitcher soon.
Stitcher, yeah, I haven't heard back yet, but I have no reason to believe it won't be on there. And
you would think now that they're corporately owned, maybe that would improve their
maybe. Well, I did it like on Friday, so maybe over the weekend takes longer. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
But whatever. It's up. First episode. Second one will be up on Tuesday. So by the time you're hearing this, unless you're listening to us live, then hopefully it'll be out.
We also got a couple other shows on there. MBWS, which this week was crazy. We had our first ever. This had never happened before. A WWE talent, Lana, retweeted us, replied,
I saw that.
She said she listened to the show.
Yeah,
and
she enjoyed the nice.
And we got like 120. 80 people retweeted that. We got a ton of likes. Our downloads skyrocketed. So I just had this image of Lana because her husband is Rusev, the wrestler. She's his manager, and she also wrestles. But the whole reason why we were talking about her was because she was on Total Bellas last week, which is the reality show. It's a spin-off of Total Divas. It's just the Bella family, and they're all living at John Cena's house. Not house, crazy mansion in Florida. And so Brie Bella goes to the Performance Center to train for WrestleMania, and she's with Lana. And in the WWE lore, Lana is the Russian wife of Rusev, who is from Bulgaria, and in reality, she's not Russian. And so seeing her in Total Bellas, because it has to have some semblance of a reality show. She's out of character, and it was the first time I'd ever seen her or heard her out of character, and it was very jarring because like, so her character in WWE, you know, Bridget Nielsen in Rocky IV, like Ivan Drago's wife.
Okay, I've never seen Rocky.
Oh my gosh, come on, that's like the best one.
I've never watched any Rockies.
Oh my gosh, Phil.
I know.
Come on.
I don't like sports.
It's still a good movie. It won
Sports.
Best Picture.
That's fine. Good for it. Sports.
All right. Well, anyways,
I know who Bridget Nielsen is.
So the
Billy
Russian,
Madison.
just the Russian.
Wait, Billy Madison?
Nope, that's
Happy
Bridget
Gilmore.
Wilson.
Then I don't know who you're talking about.
Bridget Nielsen
Man, you're right. Gosh.
she's in a lot of stuff.
All right.
You've
That's
seen
fine.
her stuff.
I recognize her, but I was
Beverly
thinking
Hills Cop 2.
Okay, well, I definitely have seen Beverly Hills Cop too.
Well, anyways, so she's like this just tall Russian blonde,
okay,
like, you know, like tough. And so to see her on Total Bella is just like super nice, super friendly, seems like a very genuine person, and also no Russian accent. And I was like, whoa. So we were talking about that, and then when I tweeted it out, I tagged her in it, and I guess she listened to it. So I had this image in my head of her listening, and Rusev's sitting there, and she's like, "Oh, they're talking about me in the podcast." And he's just like, whatever.
No, he was excited for it.
That would be awesome if Rusev. I'm excited, but it was just really cool. And then we replied back to her, and then she favorited that. So we're getting a lot of exposure because she has like hundreds of thousands of Twitter followers, and so it was really cool. And it felt like, and it also, I feel like having Veronica on the show gives it that, because I think like she probably like, because I can just see like people like, oh, another wrestling podcast, whatever. But then she's like, like, because that's a unique thing,
right?
Like,
right. There's probably not a lot of those.
I think that may have helped.
That's awesome
for her to see like, oh, the girl talking about wrestling, because I don't know. So I think that was very cool. So you can check that out. There's also Popsicles. The newest one is the in-depth interview where I talk about my jury duty experience and the new Creecy. There's also, if you want to get spooky for Halloween times, you got Midnight Marinara. They're doing a lot of cool stuff on there. You also got Nerd's Eye View talking about movies, and you know, Benview and Spielberg, and Pick Your Path, and Star Wars Nerds Unite. They're still talking about all the expanded Star Wars universe stuff.
Yeah.
If you're not sure what to, and also Rogue One.
Racing towards
they
Rogue
covered
One.
The Rogue One weekend where they came out with the new toys.
And the new trailer.
Yeah, but they had that. But before that, they had like the day where they debuted the new toys.
Okay.
So remember, there was that like big day when like the new Force Awakens toys. They just did that for Rogue One.
Well, all the new. Did they talk about the Legos? I didn't listen to it yet.
I don't know.
Because there's a lot of cool new Rogue One Legos that I'm dying for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever get your Ant-Man Lego?
I have the small one, like the one where you built, but the big one I haven't yet. It's like $60-$70, something like that. I mean, I want it. We've been building a lot of Legos lately around the Vecchio house, let me tell you.
Well, your kids are quite the builders.
They're like nuts for it right now. Like that's
Lego had 2 booths at the STEM conference. They had an actual like Lego booth.
Okay.
And then Legoland had their own booth, because I guess they do
maybe like educational
stuff.
Audrey's going on one sometime this
So
year.
that's what it was for. It was for those field trips.
That's cool.
But the Lego booth, they had all kinds of like builder kits and like school stuff, and like Lego's really gotten real smart in that, the whole education.
Well, but I mean, as much as it might seem like cheap, like it really is. Like, I mean, it's basically kid engineering.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that
well,
they're
especially like with like the robotic stuff and all the other stuff, and now that like maker culture is such a big thing, like Lego kind of, because a lot of the original, like a lot of that stuff, like a lot of the people that are way into that, like our age, and like that came from Lego.
Yeah.
Like work like that like that's kind of the common thread.
Yeah.
And that, so it's more than a toy.
It is definitely is.
You know what else is more than a toy is DreamHost's web hosting.
That's right. It's fun, but they don't mess around.
They don't, and it's very affordable, especially if you go to radiobrendo.com and click the DreamHost link. You'll save $50 off your order. So the hosting, I think it's still $97 a year for a fully hosted website, and with a domain name included, and you'll save $50 off of that. So you're looking at like less than $50 for a year's worth of hosting.
Good deal.
For your first year.
Good deal.
And again, go to radiobrendo.com, click that link. And you know what other link is good on our website is our Amazon Prime free trial. Because like we said, you're doing a podcast about Family Ties, and the only place to watch Family Ties online is on Amazon Prime Video.
That's right.
Do you know what else they got on Amazon Prime?
So much stuff.
They have a new thing. What I think this is there was the Kindle lending library, which you could only get access to if you had a Kindle device.
Right.
Now they've opened it up. You just have to have Amazon Prime. You can do it on the Amazon, because I use the Kindle app.
Right.
And so there's a ton of books on there, and you can just download them for free. There's comic books. I read some Archie comic books.
Did you really?
Like the new Archie books,
right.
which they're really good. Like this is not your like teenage. This is not like Archie from when you were a kid. Like it's like it's like kind of like teen. I would say it's like not PG-13, but like
aimed at preteen.
It's not aimed at like a kid audience.
Right. Okay.
And like adults can appreciate it. It's a little bit. I think this is because like this is leading into like Riverdale, which is a more serious like the show, which I'm really excited for that show. But it's also like the people they got to like work on it, like the writers and artists are like top people in comics. Like again, like not just
Who
like
would have thought Archie. Yeah,
it's become a big thing. And so I read a couple of them. They're really good. But again, they're on this Kindle. I forgot what it's called, but because it's Kindle Unlimited is an add-on that you can get for $9.99 a month, which is like Netflix, where it's a huge library of books. But this one is just straight up free books that any Amazon Prime, including Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, like some of the Harry Potter books.
Oh, really?
There's a bunch of good books on there. I already downloaded. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it because I have a ton of books to get through. But Man in the High Castle, because I already watched the show, and the second season is coming out in December on Amazon.
Try to read it before then?
Maybe I have, because I'm very like I go through books in order that I purchase them, and I still have a couple Humble Bundles left of books, and like they've been having so many good sales on Amazon, like if you because like I found a new deal tracker, because there's BookBub, but then there's Goodreads does it now too, where they're like, here's your book deals, and they find free or like really cheap on books on sale based out of your like preferences. Goodreads is really good because it uses your own library to generate perfect recommendations. And then there's a new one. I forgot what it's called, but that one's been really good. And because you saw, I was like, even when we were at Podfest and it popped up, and I found like the James Bond Topaz.
Oh yeah. Not James Bond.
Not James Bond.
It's Alfred Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock.
But he is a spy. It's a
James
spy
Bond
story. Yeah.
But the book that's based on was on sale for 99 cents. Yeah. So I said, Phil, should I buy this? He's like, yeah.
Good book.
So then I have that. So I'm just slowly getting through like books. And
I've read a couple other books by him too.
But so those so again, like you can take advantage of those cheap books and cheap deals, and that's on Amazon Prime. And you can go to radiobrendo.com, get that Amazon Prime free trial, 30-day free trial.
But what if someone already has Amazon Prime, but they just still want to help out
the show? Or if they don't have Prime and they just buy stuff on Amazon.
What can they do?
Go to radiobrendo.com and click the Amazon link, and then just do your normal Amazon shopping at no cost to you, extra cost to you, and you'll be helping us out. We get a percentage of everything you purchase. Well, most things.
Yeah.
So if you don't hear us read your stuff, it's probably because it didn't.
Yeah.
It just wasn't.
So you should buy things you were gonna buy anyway, because just in case.
Yeah. Because like some marketplace stuff, and then certain categories of items and
don't pop up
certain things. And then we get a report every week, and then we read the stuff because we don't know who bought it.
Right.
But we know people bought things, and we talk about them. And we got a few things this week.
Last time we had tons.
Well, that's because it was like a month worth.
Right.
Same thing with the mail. We didn't have any reader mail this week. I figured because you guys are all
catching up.
Well, you're catching up because we listened to all those episodes and a lot of stuff, all the Podfest stuff, and it's been busy. So you can be sure to use our contact form if you want to send us in. Oh wait, I did have an interaction I forgot to talk about.
Okay.
Because you mentioned Josh. So Josh actually tweeted me the other day with a Ramblin' Root Beer update.
Oh, really?
They went to Hadley's this weekend.
Yeah.
And he said he took a picture. They've got tons.
Do they have the other varieties?
No.
Just regular.
Just the regular.
Okay.
Let me look. I just want to make sure because he took a picture.
Wow,
So,
that's cool.
So that is, you could tweet us at BrendoMan.
Didn't someone else go there?
I don't know.
And they didn't. It wasn't there, or maybe not. Maybe it's just that I got the last one.
You got the last one that day.
But we were also there. Like we were the last ones at closing. So end of the day.
Yeah.
Interesting. At BrendoMan is our Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, what's going on? Are there cable access stations in LA? Oh, Adam Wells was asking that.
I don't know. Are
there? Oh, because she said because his fiance didn't get the spoofing of cable access.
Oh, okay. I mean, that used to be. I don't know if that still is anymore.
Yeah.
It's definitely not as prevalent as it is elsewhere in the country.
Okay, so let me find Josh's tweet here. There's Lana's. So got 39 retweets and 159 likes.
That's awesome.
And she specifics because she retweeted me. And let me just look. She gets 703,000 followers.
And they all saw that.
So that was pretty awesome. And also lots of wrestlers. That means a lot of wrestlers saw, like, oh yeah,
there it is.
So okay, so no, there's Moxie, then regular, and then you got Fago. So
all right,
if there were multiple, there would have been right there. But looks like they got.
Yeah, they're in stock, so that's good.
So that's our Josh Soda rambling update.
Well, now you know. I mean, that's not too far from you. So if you ever have a hankering, you can do it.
Oh, and then Denver linked a really cool NPR interview with Brian Wilson, and it's really good. It's very emotional because he just had his because he's talking about because he just released his memoir.
Oh, okay.
So he's always, because Brian Wilson's always pretty open, and yeah, I cried listening to it a little bit, but it's really good. Yeah. So
shall we get back to Amazon?
Well, just going through that's our interactions for this week.
That's good Twitter.
All right, so back to Amazon. We got a $10 PlayStation Store gift card and a $20 PlayStation Store gift card. So if you're going to buy stuff on the PlayStation Store, you can also help out the show.
That's right.
Again, at no extra cost to you, because these were digital codes, so he's still
just spending the same amount of money,
but he might as well help us out. We got a Lego Star Wars Captain Rex's ATT.
Let's look at this here. Is this one of the Rogue One ones?
Captain Rex.
See. Oh no.
No, Captain Rex is from
Rebels.
Force Awakens. No, Rebels. No.
Well, it says Rebels down there. So
there you go.
That's what I'm guessing. Isn't Rex the name that the pilot on Star Tours had too, though, or am I thinking of something else?
No, it is Rex.
That's I thought it was, right?
Yeah.
Is that a different character?
Yeah.
Okay.
Captain Rex.
But he was the captain, wasn't he?
I don't know, man.
Captain Rex. That's just a guy.
Yeah.
Huh.
But Rex does appear. There is a Star Tours episode
in Rebels.
In Rebels.
Okay. I have watched some now, by the way. I don't know if I told you that.
There's also Lando episodes.
I haven't seen that. I haven't watched them all. We did hotel TV watching of them. So
was it season 2? It might have been the new season.
I don't know. It was just whatever was on Disney Channel.
Did you enjoy it?
It was great. So yeah, it was super good.
Yeah, so that's this one. It's $100 set.
Oh, I love Lego so
much.
It's
so it's just like a variation of the AT-AT, but this is like a super duper one. Look at that. It's got
I think
it's pretty cool.
Like a double lightsaber that guy's got there. Man, there's a lot of minifigs there.
You got a bunch of minifigs.
Oh, I love Lego.
Imperial Inquisitor 5th brother.
Huh. Well, I want to know who got that, and if I can come over and help build it, that would be cool.
There's a lot of cool turbo tank.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch. Okay, all the new Rogue One stuff looks great, including they have the stand-up, the big, 10-inch model ones or 12-inch models, however tall they are, of Jyn Erso, whatever her last name is. Jyn from the new movie.
I was looking at look at this Millennium Falcon.
That's a new version of
it.
The old Millennium Falcons.
Well, they're super expensive.
Yeah. And I have one in a sealed box.
Yeah.
For a rainy day.
For a rainy day, you're not gonna ever. What if you want to build it?
I might do that still.
We got Call of Duty Infinite Warfare PS4 Legacy Edition.
All right.
The new Call of Duty. And that's it.
Cool. Thank you guys for buying stuff. As always, that's great.
Yeah. Thank you. And if you want to talk about that or some other cool things, for instance, the Loverboy video that we were talking about in the pre-show.
Oh yeah, which is nuts.
And then other music videos and other funny videos. Phil posted a really good one earlier. Was that today? Yesterday?
Yeah, that was just today.
You have to watch it.
You have to watch it.
Yeah,
it'll take you by surprise. It's not what you think it is.
But that's in our Facebook group. Go to radiobrendo.com and click the Facebook group, or just look up Radio BrendoMan on Facebook, and there's our group.
It's easy to find.
We also got our Facebook page, and our subreddit, which is /r/Radio BrendoMan. And we're working on Kickstarter stuff.
Yeah, I've got the book stuff.
I'm working on it.
All right, it's good.
I'm working on it. I've been really busy.
That's cool.
I plan on this weekend. I will get it done.
Okay, cool.
Because I have all weekend. I might go down to San Diego on Friday after work because Carson's down there this week.
Oh, nice.
But he's leaving on Saturday, so I'll have Saturday and Sunday. So I mean, he's here all week, but I'm working. So like he got in on Sunday and Sunday night, and he's working.
Yeah.
So, but I might go down there on Friday. We'll see how I'm.
All right.
I don't know. So that's what's going on with that. Don't forget our Clicker Heroes clan.
Yeah.
If you have clickerheroes.com or on Steam, it's going strong. And then the clan name is Radio Space BrendoMan. If you want to play that, it's free.
A lot of good action going on there.
Well, Craig from the Res is really crushing it.
Nice.
And Kermit and your brother, and they're kind of they're really like they're making a lot of progress with the client, but I'm not. I don't think I'm actually contributing anything, but except for moral support.
Well, it's good you're
there. They're doing the bulk of the damage.
All right.
On the they're the ones beating the bosses in our clan fights. I'm there.
All right.
Don't forget myvacationpants.com. That's Janelle's travel site, and Mandarin Orange Show, which is the show you and Janelle do. And Alex B. Keaton is my friend.
Yeah.
Those are your other shows.
Lots of shows. You're
going
to be guest
Mandarin Orange Show this week was pretty amazing because Janelle was like sick.
Oh my god.
And she has like this like smoker's voice.
It sounds like she's been smoking for years.
She's
and that was like the best. Like we waited till late. You might have noticed the show went up late this week because like a couple days, like when we normally record, she couldn't even talk hardly. It was just, she had to call in like 2 days last week.
Well, I bet. How are you supposed to teach class?
Because like she went in and everyone's like, "You need to go home. Like, you sound terrible." So she's on antibiotics and all that. She's getting.
I'm like really concerned that it's crazy that I haven't gotten sick yet.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna get some crazy.
It's coming.
Like I know,
you're in like 2 different germ pools now going back and forth.
Oh yeah.
You must have a good immune system or something.
Well, I think that's what it is. I think it's summers on the farm, and I'm not a crazy germaphobe like you, and I gotta build up. I built up those immunities living in a foreign country.
Well, I'm telling you, working in a school builds it up though, because Janelle hasn't been really sick in like a year. Then when you get it, it's like
I know it's gonna be horrible. Like I feel like I'm gonna be like incapacitated.
Yeah. We went to church on Sunday, and in the middle of like this like quiet parts, Janelle's like, bleh. I'm like, just go outside. And she's like, no, it's fine, I can stop.
Dude, like in the computer lab, so I'm like sitting there, and like these kids are just like hacking and like sneezing on the computers, and I'm just like, why are you? Oh gosh, you're all this like, and then I just see them like, just it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Kids are just, I don't know. I know I'm like jinxing myself because I cannot believe I haven't gotten sick.
Yeah. Well, that's why. And the funny part is I do quite a bit more editing on Mandarin Orange Show than like say we do on this. I cut out probably 10 minutes worth of coughing fits like in between. Like you heard the parts that I was able to like get around, or I couldn't get around. So there's a whole deleted reel of Janelle just hacking up a lung.
Well, you know what won't make you sick is going up to Big Bear, California, to Mountain Room Escapes. Is the new room open?
I don't know if it's. I don't know. I know he's done testing. He's tested it a number of times.
Well, it should be open soon.
I think if it's not, it will be very soon.
MountainRoomEscapes.com. If you're in Southern California, taking a trip up to Big Bear, it's a beautiful time of year to go up there.
Yeah,
a nice mountain town.
He's doing well. He got like a corporate deal. Like these people came and did training, and then they liked it, so they're gonna she's gonna bring all her groups back through.
Well, if you want to bring your group through, go to mountainrimescapes.com. Use the code RadioBrendoMan at checkout for $5 off each ticket, and you get a special exclusive gift at the game. It's a great deal.
Great deal. Super
Lots
fun.
of fun. Have you done the new room?
I haven't yet. No.
Oh, when are you gonna? I thought you were gonna do it.
Well, we were going to, but he wants to like get it, like have us do like a later testing.
Okay. So he's still.
So I don't know.
He's still alpha testing.
I think he's still like alpha testing it. So I don't know if he's like. I don't think he's actually done one yet. Like you
can do the main room and it's great.
The main room for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Yeah. Tune in on Thursday for more, and of course for Marmaduke. Have we gotten? Are we pretty much done with the Marmaduke brick?
I think so. I think we're calling it.
All right. Well, we managed to get how much did we get?
The medium one. We got $62.
Is that enough for the medium brick?
I think so.
I thought the medium brick was like.
Maybe not. Maybe we better look. Maybe we just got the regular one.
I think we just got the regular one.
We might have just got the regular one.
Which is fine.
Which is great. It's totally great. But yeah, I think we got $62. I'll have to go back and look and make sure the exact amount because I'm not looking at it right now. But I think
then you're gonna be ordering the brick.
So we'll order.
So we got Oh
yeah, okay. So we didn't quite make it. I don't know what I was thinking.
We didn't make it to the 8x8.
But we got enough to get the regular one with a picture.
With our picture.
And we'll donate the remainder to our local
Humane Society.
Humane folks or rescue or whatever it is. I don't know what they have here.
I'm sure they got a Humane Society or animal shelter.
Yeah. Yaps. They have yaps.
What's that?
Kaipa.
Animal protection.
Something like that. Yeah. I've just seen bumper stickers. Now that we're talking about it, I know that's what we have.
What if it's Ukaipa animal pursuers?
Punching.
Animal punchers.
It's a group of people that just go around and punch animals.
I was trying to think it was like some way it was like Ukaipa animal. And it would be like
poachers. Oh yeah, maybe that's not a good thing then. We'll make sure we donate it to a good one.
But so Phil's gonna do that, and then once it's out there, we're still looking for a upstate New York correspondent who can.
Yeah.
So if you're out there, we definitely we just need somebody in the upstate New York area. Once it's out there to go take a look. Because we don't know. I mean, at some point we will be taking a trip.
We're gonna have
to our brick.
Our friends Cliff and Kristen, their family, they used to live right near there, and their family still is there.
Well, maybe we could.
It's possible, like if
get
they
a little
home, they could
assistant
because they're like around Buffalo, which is pretty close to there. So yeah.
But yeah, so thank you everybody for the successful Marmaduke brick.
It's happening. It's real.
Project. I'm very excited about it, and you can listen on Thursday for a new Marmaduke.
That's right.
Which I think is a tease. When you looked at it, you were like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, I can't remember.
You were like, "It seems pretty nuts."
Oh yeah,
it seems weird.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one.
I'm excited.
Oh, it's a weird one. It's a good one. Okay, I didn't read it all, but I peeked.
Where's my fat alert thing? Oh, it's up here. Okay, I have a fat alert for Thursday too. Which I think we already discussed, but it's regarding Harry Potter and the Incredible Journey.
Oh yeah.
So you can see where this is going.
We'll have to hear about that.
And
how not incredible is it for fats?
Like I already knew, and Matthew already told me. But you can find out. But it was. Oh, I don't want to give it away.
Thursday.
Thursday, you'll hear about it.
All right.
And more about my Universal experience. And yeah. Be sure to go to benvnetwork.com for all the Benv Network stuff. RadioBrendo.com. All that stuff. Hit us up, BrendoMan at Gmail.
Yeah.
RadioBrendoMan at Gmail.com. I think that's it.
Anything else? Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. So for Radio BrendoMan, I'm Brendan Creecy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
Have a good one, everybody.
Yeah.
That was episode 274. So this next episode is 275. What are we going to call this episode?
What are we going to call it? Let me think. Usually I think of it as we're doing it. I don't know. What do we talk about? What do we just talk about for an hour?
I could do what I sometimes do and just listen until I find something for the title.
You could. That's fine.
I don't like doing that.
All right. Well, what did we talk about at the beginning?
Oh.
Universal and no reentries.
No reentry. All right. Well, because that's also been, I mean, like we talked about that on Brax a lot.
Yeah. Oh, totally. With bands and stuff. But like an amusement park is a whole other thing. Like,
I hate
that's
that.
crazy.
It was crazy. It was crazy because, like, again, I was actively ready to spend money, and then there was nothing. Like, I'm like, that's never happened at a theme park.
Well, that is something Disney would definitely not let happen.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to buy something? Here are 50,000.
I just assumed that, like, because I feel like I'm hungry. I want to buy some food, and the fact that basic, because there was seriously like one place and it was hot dogs, and they were out of hot dogs.
Yeah, I think they should go over to Disneyland because that like transition from daytime Disneyland to like the trick or treat thing, it's seamless. It's perfect. And you never once, because we've been there when we weren't doing it too. And
the problem with this is because they were actively, because they have to put up a bunch of stuff for Horror Nights. So they were doing that stuff. They have like an army of staff that I think enjoys yelling at people.
Well, that's, I mean, yeah.
And then like, I don't know. It was just like, I'm like, ugh. I saw a woman like flip. I spent a good 45 minutes just watching people flip out. Like it was a very fun people watching experience because like they had blocked off access to like there was one point where there was no bathrooms because they had blocked off access to all. And this woman was just like losing her mind. And
where are you gonna go? Like that's
there was like one bathroom open, but it was on the other side of the park. She's like, "No, there's a bathroom right there. I'm gonna use it." Like,
did they let her?
She just barged through.
I mean, if you gotta go, like, what are they gonna do?
And like, but it was like, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, and like, and they were just like hurting everybody in like this one area of the park. But then they had this part where you could only go one direction down the street. And then like it was going directly towards the exit, but I'm like, I can't leave. So then I couldn't turn around because it was just a sea of people. So I ended up having to go up to this guy. I'm like, because they had it blocked. They had like these like guardrail fences blocking the other side. So I'm like, I need to get over there because like this is directing me out. I can't leave. So he's like, fine. And he's like, but you shouldn't have. I'm like, I didn't know. How am I supposed to know that?
You shouldn't have come here.
Like I'm like, oh my gosh. Like,
yeah, that's nuts. Definitely they need to fix that. But
I just, because I would go up to, I would find like, oh, Moe's Tavern closed. Oh, this, because they have like I still want to try they have a Bumblebee Man, like, because the whole Springfield area, and they have a Bumblebee Man taco truck, and they had these nachos. It sounds amazing, but it was closed. And they have Buzz Cola,
really?
From the show, and I don't know if it's like extra caffeinated. Dude, those donuts look crazy, but I didn't want it because I was hung, but I'm like, I'm not just gonna, because that was open.
The donut place.
The lard lab was open, and then this hot dog place was open in the whole park. Because then I was like, I was so glad I asked beforehand, because then I'm like, well, there's all those restaurants down at the lower end, but so I asked the person up at, because I'm like, yeah, but what if I go all the way down there and then they're not open, and then I got all the way back up? So I asked, I'm like, are any of the restaurants down there open? She's like, no, and I'm like, and I told her, I'm like, you realize that's insane, right? She's like, I know, but what I can't. I'm just an information lady.
Street here,
because I'm like, that's crazy. And then there was like these. And then there was a lot of like frat bros that are like, there's nowhere to buy. We can't get beer anywhere. Like, what do we? Like, and I'm just like, to me, this seems like a really because I'm like, there are a lot of people walking around now that want to spend money.
Yeah, and you are not taking their money.
I don't understand.
Missed opportunity.
I guess they had to restock the restaurants. I don't know.
Well, they should just send some people over to Disneyland and see what they do, and then learn.
Well, they should, because it was pretty annoying.
Hey, did you play something on your Wii U?
I told you about that.
Which one?
Well, it was when I did the.
Oh, you got the coin.
And then I played Mario Kart.
That's right.
And then I actually played one of those games, and it was total garbage.
Oh, yeah. I haven't even downloaded it.
Well, it started downloading automatically when I bought it on the Wii U.
I don't have room on my thing, so I have to like have it go on to my hard drive, and I just haven't know how to do that.
So yeah, but that was dumb. But then I was playing.
But it's a 30 coins. You didn't get it for the dumb. I knew it was garbage games. You could
I knew
tell.
that. I just wanted to try it.
Pretty bad. The way I could tell was that there wasn't like a thick layer of dust on top of it. So,
well, that's what I tweeted. I said just removed a 1-inch layer of dust on my Wii remote. Sorry, old pal.
Matthew and I, when he came over, was it like a week ago? When he came in, when was that? He did Janelle's birthday thing. I don't know, whenever it was, and we played Affordable Space Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, it's amazing.
What's it like?
We gotta play it. Okay. Didn't you get it in a Humble Bundle?
Probably.
Maybe? I think you did, or maybe I just bought it separate. I don't remember. But it's like it's the best use of the gamepad like I've ever seen. So one person is controlling on the TV, like you're in the spaceship and you're going through, trying to get through the different areas and stuff. And one person's controlling the spaceship on the TV. You're moving around and stuff. The other person controls, first of all, like where your beam of light goes because it's all dark, and then you control all the systems on the thing. So the thrust and your buoyancy and your electrical systems and stuff, and it's all on the touchpad. And so like you'll go past the scanner that like reads electricity and it'll zap you if the guy doesn't turn off the electrical system, and it's all like operated through here and then through the gamepad, and then the other person is like going through. It's amazing. It's super cool. It's like the best like multiplayer use of that thing.
Sounds cool.
So we gotta try it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
We do it. Episode 2.
It's episode 275.
75. See, I just didn't finish saying. I was saying it slow.
Oh. Close that Audacity.
That's why.
I was like, what?
Is that a liter?
What?
Is that a liter? What is that?
It's the 1 liter. You're not aware of these?
Oh.
It's a 1.25 liter. They're the ones that are like $1.
Huh.
It's $1.
That's good. That's good.
And then I just like drink out of it.
Perfect. And you're not pouring that into a cup. Let's be real.
But I tend to, I don't know, it helps me, right? Because like if I get like a 12-pack, like I just tear through those. So I feel like this kind of keeps
like sip at it.
Yeah.
All right.
Because like if I get a 12-pack, like I try to limit myself to like 3 a day, but like sometimes I'm just like,
it's hard to do.
Yeah. I
know. I've been getting a lot of those like flavor packs that you put in water, like the little sugar-free flavor things.
Yeah, I've tried those. I'm just not.
They have them at Big Lots. They have like really good ones. They have Crush ones.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Oh my gosh, they're amazing, and they're sugar-free.
Yeah,
that's helped me to like cut back on sodas a bit. I mean, I don't know how much better it is for you, but at least it's less expensive.
Yeah. Well, that's like too where I was kind of saving some money because I'll get like a few of these and like it'll last me for like almost a week, and as opposed to like 3 12-packs for $12.
Right.
I mean, we're only talking about a few dollars, but hey.
Yeah, but still, it counts.
It all adds up.
It counts.
And like I know I'm still because I really need to get a new belt. Like my pants are falling off.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. So I need to get a new belt, and now I'm on a quest because like we'll talk about it.
Okay. All right, I'm ready.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Radio BrendoMan. I'm Brendan Creecy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
And this is episode 275.
Yeah, 2 3/4.
2 3/4.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
We've been doing this for a while.
Quite a while.
Like it.
I mean, we've been doing the show for like 5 years because I think 2011 we started 5 years.
Man. Almost like Luke's entire life.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Or maybe we started in 2012.
Because
I was living in Irvine. I moved to Irvine in 2011, so that sounds right.
I think you're right.
Towards the end of,
That sounds right, because I know I was doing Pillage Cast in like 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that sounds right. Man, we've been doing this for a while. Veterans.
We're podcast veterans.
Yeah.
I mean, how does that feel for you?
It's great.
Since 10 years ago, you still were like, what is this thing you're doing?
Podcasting. That'll never catch on.
So I just remember, I remember talking to you and a Cold Kids manager because I'm like, you guys gotta get in on this. And you both were like, what is this thing?
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
And like, because I remember you both were like, you can use our music.
Yeah,
like,
okay, whatever.
But whatever. Like,
yeah, because you had Ann Lynn and all that stuff on your original run.
Well, if you listen to the original run, like you can
there.
hear it's actually. I mean, like if you're a big Cold War Kids fan, you might want to, because some of the Cold War Kids songs that I play on the early, like the first, like the original run of Radio BrendoMan, those tracks are not. I don't even think you can't get it. I think they put them out on like some 7-inches, but.
Yeah, but
because these are like these are like those tracks are from before their first record. Like they're like demos and stuff.
My favorite song still came off of that one demo, the wedding one.
Is that the Don't?
I got dragged into this wedding.
I like that. I like the Don't Let Your Love. I like that.
So I feel like they might have re-recorded that.
I know they re-recorded a couple of them, but there's some that are not.
The wedding one has never been anywhere. I haven't heard that anywhere else.
So if you're a big Cold War Kids fan, you should listen because I got permission and they're in there. And
there.
Also Great Glass Elevator. I think I played some of those. And,
so good.
I had forgotten about them, and then I was listening to one of the old Radio BrendoMans, and I heard that. I think it was the what song was it? I don't remember what song. The lie song. I forgot how it goes.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
Blow a hole in my head. I forgot.
They were really good.
They were really good. But
we have their CDs available at popboxmusic.com.
Yeah, and then they're not a band anymore.
They're gone now.
It's the story of some of those bands, man.
That's what happens. We got some good. We'll talk about it in music talk, I guess. But we got some good, exciting news about Blue Christmas. Speaking of old bands and stuff.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, I was going to tell you live on the show. Well, this is all just falling into place.
So we got your little stuff to mention. What's going on? I mean, you talked a little bit last time.
Talked a little about the birthday party.
Yeah.
The fun part about it was we went to our friend Cliff and Kristen's house. They just moved into a new place.
They're in Yorba Linda?
They're in Anaheim now.
Oh, okay. They were in Yorba Linda?
They were, yeah. They were there, and then they moved to another place. They bounced around a couple, but now they're like at a house.
Okay.
And the cool part is he's got like a pretty good sized backyard, especially for out there, and it has like a bunch of fruit trees in it. So I went and got to check out all his fruit trees. Actually helped him like discover some stuff he didn't know he had. So he's got like some oranges, probably lemons and limes, although it's kind of hard to tell until they ripen up what those will wind up being, but some kind of citrus like that. He's got tangerines. He has guavas. He has avocados, which I'm very excited to do some fruit swapping with.
Yeah.
He has grapevines.
Wow.
Like he's got a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to think. There's
so this was all there?
It was all just there. Yeah. He hasn't planted anything. It was just all there. And then that was fun because in the front, he didn't know this, but they have like a little small herb garden. And he was just going to like pull all this stuff out. He thought it was weeds. I'm like, they have mint, they have lavender, couple of little things like that. So
Anaheim, I mean, Orange County, it's a good
it's
growing.
It's
that's like where that's what it was before anybody was there.
Orange groves. So they'll get a couple yields of the oranges and stuff. So the kids went to a birthday party. I went to like a fruit tour. So it was fun.
Fruit party.
And then I put the refinance thing on here because we've been building up to this doing a refinance because the interest rates are ridiculously low, and we're getting it like 3.25%, something like that, which is like insane. But anyway, what that means is we have to have our house once again appraised.
Yeah.
Which means someone's going to come in, which means we have to have it all cleaned up and stuff.
But you've had enough people come visit.
That's the great part. We had Jeff and Ebony come, and then Cliff and Kristen a couple weeks before.
That's what it takes.
It's. I mean, we still have a little work to do to get it like great, but this week and this weekend, that's what I have to look forward to. Is we're going to be doing some cleaning, some organizing, and
If you need Sergeant Brendo to come.
Well, I might pull you to do some yard work because that's kind of the big thing, like catching up on that.
That's the least thing that
It's fun. We'll see. But it's not like
definitely.
it's not near as bad as it has been in other times. Like we're in pretty good shape already. So, I mean, if she came now, she could do it.
Well, plus it's your appraiser that like
this is like a third
you
time.
guys really hit it off.
Yeah, so.
She's an orchard person.
Yeah, she likes the fruits,
and she
which is part of why I got to have the yard.
And your kids are very charming, and
she likes that Janelle's a teacher. All that stuff. So it's good. I guess we kind of talked about this too, but Alex P. Keaton is my friend. My podcast
up and running.
It's on iTunes and
get on
all that stuff.
Watch the show on Amazon Prime and then listen to the podcast.
The first episode right off the bat, you deal with like racism and exclusive clubs,
and you've got your original theme song.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm kind of happy with it. Like I kind of like it.
Have you gotten any feedback?
No, not yet. Other than just like from family and friends and stuff. But
I think it's.
I think it's fun.
I think it's very Phil.
That's the best compliment I could get. Sneak peek for episode 2. Janelle is guest hosting on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, if it all works out, he'll be guest hosting episode 3. Episode 2 deals with sexual assault right off the bat.
And
so, like, they don't waste any time digging into the nitty gritty.
90210, like, we're getting into some hard hitting issues.
Only they play it for laughs a little more than 90210 does. So
that's always
But they still deal with the issues. It's there.
That's good.
So that'll be coming your way.
So, what do you like? Is there? I guess like. Do you like take notes while you're watching the show? Like, where do you find your like talking points?
It's very different from like doing because Radio BrendoMan. I mean, we have a few things we talk about, but
you have to like.
But yeah,
you can't just like start the show and be like, so.
Ooh, what do you think of that?
This episode.
I listened. I watched the show twice actually. I watch it once just for fun and just because I want to like get the laughs and stuff, and then I watch through it again and take notes on stuff if there's. Like weird guest stars or whatever, I gotta look that stuff up. So yeah, it's a little more preparation for sure.
Because like I was actually gonna show you. Oh, I wish I had them. I don't know what I did with them. Because like Lizzie and Kat take like it's like 6 pages of notes like that they gave us for like each episode that they do, and then like so if you come up with I know you've come up with a couple like segments like good segments.
That's the plan. And I mean, it's funny. I've listened to some of Lizzie and Kat's. I don't want to like copy them, so I'm hoping to like I do it differently.
Like just watching,
stuff like
you can.
That,
I'm sure there's stuff you can come up with.
Yeah, I would love to pick their brain at some point and be like, all right, what's your process? Because I don't know. It's so different from all the other stuff that I've done, but it's been really fun.
It's cool.
So yeah.
All right.
So that's that. What do you got?
Well, I got a fat alert, which I feel like we've already discussed this a little bit in the Facebook group. Because I know Mark Ariano brought it up.
Right.
So Harry Potter and the Incredible Journey, it is their most restrictive ride.
Okay.
When it comes to size, because not only fat but also tall is being like Brian Lynch, who is like 1 inch. I think he's a little taller than me.
Right.
So when he went with Derek when it first opened. In Hollywood, the first time he got a red light on the test seat, but then he went in another seat and it clicked. But that was just because his height.
Right.
So when I heard that, I was like, "Oh crap!" Because I'm almost as tall as Lynch, but I'm also like way bigger. And I'd already been warned that it's also it's more about like your shoulders and like I have like super broad shoulders and. Because it's like the harness is like the thing, like the lap bar, like it goes over, and it's like because at first I'm like, am I gonna be able? So they have a test seat outside, and so I get in and I fit in the seat, but then I bring the lap bar down and I'm like nowhere near green light, and then the guy comes up to me and I'm like, oh crap, here we go, because he's like, are you sure? He's like, do you need some help? And I'm like. No, I think I'm good. I think I'm okay. I'm like, I'm not even close. He's like, well, let me. So he kind of pushes down on a little bit, and he's like, oh yeah, I don't because but he was very dude. I think they have specially trained people to work at the seat, the test seat, because one, they have to expect because I observed for a while just to see what the situation was, and people were getting upset. Like people were getting very upset. And
people are traveling to go to Harry Potter World and they can't do it.
And so I'm like, well, I don't want to be that guy. And so the guy already is expecting me to like get upset and yell. And I was like, no, and I'm like, oh, dude, it's okay. Because I already had a good idea, just what I'd been told, but I wanted to see,
Okay.
and because I was already, we'll talk about it in my next, but like I just wanted to go to Harry Potter World and experience it, and that was good enough for me because as soon as you walk in there, you are in Hogsmeade. You're in the world. You're there. Like everything. It's the best thing they've ever done as far as like all the little details, all the theming. Like right away, I went in the bathroom and Moaning Myrtle's like you can hear her like in the bathroom.
That's cool.
And like and it's great. And like every little thing, all the little stores, all the little shops, you see people doing the wand because they have the $40 wand where you can buy it, and then there's like they give you a map.
It's like the
and
Phineas
then
and Ferb
and you go around and interact, and like in like one of the, you can go in the shop windows and like the mannequins come to life, or so I didn't buy the wand because I just really didn't feel like spending. It was tempting because you go in the wand shop and first off, they have like every character wand from the movies, but then they just have like tons of like they do a whole like you can do like even if you don't get picked in like the whole wand ceremony, which I watched that with Derek, but even if you don't get picked, you can still go in and then they measure you and they ask about your personality and then they pick a wand for you, and then so they have these non-character wands and you can get all kinds of cool ones. They have like giant Death Eater wands. They have like any kind of wand you could want, and so it's $30 for the regular kind, like without and then $40 if you want the.
If you're gonna
thing.
do it,
if you're gonna do it, but so I didn't really feel like doing that at this point, and I just didn't. So I went around and just watched people doing all the things.
That's
because
cool.
you would see where there'd be like a little line of people like various places
waiting
to do the thing. So I kind of just walked around, and it was just the theming. It's incredible. It's like incredible. And if you're a Harry Potter fan, it's like a must. Because of course I had butterbeer, and I didn't go into Three Broomsticks because again I had planned to go later, but then they closed everything.
Okay, here's my question: is butterbeer like what we're talking, like butterscotch? What is it?
It's like imagine like a butterscotch cream soda.
Okay, so sweet.
Yes. Oh, it's very sweet.
Okay.
It's delicious.
That sounds fantastic.
Because I know you're a big cream soda guy.
Yeah.
You would love it.
Okay.
And they have a regular soda version, which I had and I tried. They also have a frozen icy version. I don't think the icy version's as good.
Okay.
But some people prefer the icy version. I think if you have an aversion to the sweetness, the icy version is not as sweet.
Okay.
But I really like.
I don't mind sweet.
Think about it's a butterscotch cream soda. It's really fantastic.
Good. Okay. I thought so.
But then they've already, so they're gonna have it out here starting they said late fall. But people have had it in Florida. They have a hot version, like a warm, in the
supposed book. I feel like it is hot sometimes.
Sometimes they have both, but and it's supposedly it's delicious. Like it's amazing. They also had pumpkin juice, which I didn't get to try, and they had gilly water, which I think is just like a mineral water.
Yeah.
But the pumpkin juice looked good. I want to try it because it comes in the bottle. It looks exactly like the bottle in the movie. But I didn't want it because I knew if I bought it and then I'd want to keep the bottle and then I have to carry around the bottle and that's what was going through my head. And then I'm like, I don't want to buy it and then end up having to throw away the bottle and then I feel dumb. Like, so another time. But and then they had every piece of merchandise like just all kinds of fun stuff. They have new like Butterbeer University caps like that. So they have. You can buy the robes, you can buy everything. There's also a lot of like cosplayers because like there was a Hagrid walking around and I had assumed that he was like working. There's a guy that worked there because they're not like Disney. They don't restrict that.
Do that.
And so then like Derek's like, oh no, that's just a guy. And I was like, oh, okay. Like that's so weird. Like, because I'm sure like parents and people are like, oh, go talk to Hagrid. And it's like just some dude.
It's a guy walking around.
It's just like a dude in a full Hagrid. But like, because I can see for like hardcore Harry Potter fans, this is like it for them. Like this is like
right. So and go walk around and be Hagrid.
So, anyways, back to the test seat story. So
the fat whisperer guy comes over.
So he comes over and he's like, well, this is our most restrictive ride. And then I asked him, like, yeah, oh man, like, and he's like, and I had heard because one of the things that Mark said I think Mark talked about this, was in Florida they have fat cars, which
that are like bigger than the other ones. Yeah.
And so I asked the guy, I'm like, where do you think he's like, you could probably do it in Florida. Like, because he said, because he's like, this one is more, they have for the fat car in Florida, it's way more open.
Okay.
And so he's like, you could probably do it in Florida, and especially at the rate I'm losing weight, like I'll definitely, because it wasn't, my gut did not even come into play. It was, so I don't even know, because it was like my shoulders. It was almost the height thing more, but it was also kind of like my chest area.
Right.
And so if I lose a little bit, but he's like, I think you'll be fine for it. And he said he said, I'm almost positive you can do the Gringotts ride, because the Gringotts ride, they kind of learned their lesson, and the harnesses it's not as restrictive as the Incredible Journey ride. And supposedly the Gringotts ride is better.
But that's only in Florida right now. Okay.
And it probably won't come here for like at least 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
Because I also asked him about that. He was very nice. And speaking of very nice, I call this the Harry Potter Fat Consolation Prize, because I didn't even think about this. Well, so the biggest part of Harry Potter: The Forbidden Journey is the castle itself, and you go through, and it's like in the movies. There's the portrait hall, there's all the classrooms. There's like, it's like walking through the castle, and he's like, and he told me, he's like, now I know you can't go on the ride, but the best part about the ride is going through the castle. He's like, would you like to go through the castle? And I'm like, well, can I do that? He's like, yeah, I can give you this pass. So it's a castle walk, one-time use, and basically what you get to do is they have you get to just walk through they have a line for the front of the line pass that still goes through the whole castle, but there's just nobody in it. So you basically can walk through it at your own pace. And then when you get to the actual loading for the ride, they have an exit door, and then you just leave.
That's cool.
So I got to walk through the whole queue, and actually, because most time when you're in the queue, because the lines are not that bad. Even on a Sunday, it was like the middle of the day. It seemed busy to me. The line was only 25 minutes long.
Okay.
And here's the other trick: if you haven't been there, there's a single rider line, and there was no wait. It's like the Cars ride.
Yeah,
like
that's
instant.
The way to go.
Because I even asked, like, and I'm like, is this always like this? He's like, oh yeah, even if the line is like 2.5 hours, which is rare these days. Like, the single rider line is never longer than 5 minutes. That's what the guy said. I talked to the guy for a while. He was very nice. I think, because again, I think he was expecting me to flip out, and then I wasn't. So then he was like, "Oh, you're a nice person." So we talked for a while. But so I got this. So I call it the Fat Consolation Prize, and
you have to keep it even though it says one-time use.
Well, you get the one-time use, and then they didn't. I think they scan it.
Oh,
I think that's the whole thing. But I don't think anybody ever actually scanned it. And it does say pass will be collected upon use. But again, I think they were like, let's just let this fat. So, but it was cool, because then I actually got to stop. So you're going really fast through the queue, and I would actually stop when there was like a video thing, or like, and it doesn't even, dude, it's crazy in this line. Like, because the stuff, like, it's like they'll be like up on the balcony, they'll be like Harry and Ron and Hermione, and it's a video, but it looks really good. Like, it looks like they're standing up there.
That's cool.
And it's like enhanced. I think it's like just like really good, like projection techniques and stuff. And then like it feels like you're in Hogwarts. Like I stood and watched. They have like the big hall of like the moving portraits, and they're like talking to you. And I sat there and watched that for like 10 minutes, so I got to see all of them talk and interact. And then you go by, and there's like the fat lady portrait, and she's doing all this stuff, and then there's like Dumbledore's office, and Dumbledore is up there talking to you, and most people are just walking right by that. So I just sat there and looked in there. I also accidentally almost went in there, but there's like a chain, but I almost accidentally, not realizing
you like, almost Da Vinci coded it.
Yeah. But it was just looking at all the little, again, down to like the minute details, and it was awesome. So I felt like and a lot of people, like the ride I've watched the video, it looks great, but like a good part of the experience is being in the castle. So I felt pretty good.
That's good. I mean, at least they have something there.
It's a nice little consolation.
Yeah.
But it was fun. And I really want to go to Florida so I can go on it and go on all the other rides. But and then I rode so I went to I did the daytime and then the nighttime thing, and we talked about it last episode where like I got trapped in the park basically with there's nowhere to get food. Which is a little annoying, but the
horror night itself was good.
Oh yeah. So the other thing I did, I went on the studio tour, and King Kong is still awesome. I love the King Kong. And then I never done the Fast and the Furious before.
That's the one where it just has like the hand.
No, it's not that. Now it's a full on. It's like King Kong.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
Oh, you haven't seen this yet?
No.
Yeah. So they used to just have those cars dancing around.
Yeah, like on the arms, right?
It was because they originally were gonna do like because it's the arm that they use for like those robotic arm rides,
right?
And that's where you can kind of see that technology and how nutsos it is, and because they did it with those cars. But so this ride, it's like King Kong. You're in the tram, and then it stops, and then there's like first you're like driving around, and they're like, oh, we spotted like Vin Diesel's character driving around, and then like The Rock comes, is like, oh, I'm taking this over, and then you go and you go into the garage, and they're like talking to you, and again, it's the same technology like in Harry Potter, where like it's just projections of them, but it looks like they're there, and it's like Vin Diesel is like, all right, there's a witness on board this tram, and the bad guy Shaw is like trying to. It's kind of like Star Wars, like you need to protect the witness. And so then like Shaw comes in, and this is like King Kong. It's all projected. You've got your 3D glasses on, and like the track's moving like King Kong,
Right.
And then it feels like the technology, like it just I didn't know what to expect. Like just from watching the video of it, I'm like, oh, that seems lame and short.
Okay.
But being in it, and you're in the tram, and so you're in like this giant crazy car chase, and it feels like you're going like 100 miles an hour. Just the way they do it, like you're on a freeway driving, and like stuff is coming at you, and like there's like these drone helicopters, and Vin Diesel jumps on one, and there's like real fire effects and real shooting, and you're moving around, and somehow they make you feel like you're like, I'm like actually holding on to like, I'm like, ah, like. And you're on a tram,
right?
But like it feels like
that's awesome.
It's also crazy. And then the other thing that I like, Earthquake still works, and that ride is from like that opened in like 87 or 88. It's like super old, but it's still cool.
Still a good effect,
and it's cool. My favorite part is seeing it reset itself.
Yeah,
like all that stuff. Like I love that they show that. Like I love that you get to see Jaws going back and like. Like I love that they show all that stuff, and it's all the studio tour is always really fun.
What did they take out to put in Fast and the Furious?
I think it's where I don't know. Is
it where like the Battlestar Galactica was?
I think it's around that area, because I know like a lot of that stuff got burnt out by the fire, and they rebuilt some of it. Because I know King Kong. I feel like it might even be the old King Kong, because King Kong now is like, I think it's smaller. Like they didn't need as much space. I don't know. I don't know how that all fits together. I don't know. I'm not as good at Derek or some other universal nut would probably know.
I'm sure I can look it up. Yeah.
Because I'm not as familiar as to where everything was. Because I feel like Earthquake is where Battlestar Galactica was.
No, Battlestar was like in that tunnel. Like I think maybe that's where the new King Kong is.
Yeah.
Because it's like an outside tunnel. Because Earthquake is like on one of the studio or the backstages, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this one is like out in Battlestar Galactica was like in the tunnel out in the field, kind of.
I don't know.
All right, anyway.
That's cool. I also get kind of sad. Like I think the old bridge is just, they don't even use that.
Oh,
like
it's
done
anymore?
I think it's done. I think it's just like a prop. It's basically because it's right by the King Kong thing, like the entrance to King Kong, and it's just got like a road closed. I don't think they do it anymore. Like I feel like I think it just like it just like broke down so much.
The last time we went there was when Luke was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even like before Luke was born. I can't remember now, but it's been a long time. And I feel like
I haven't done it where the old bridge was working in years.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't do it then either. So.
And it's funny, they still show like the clip from like the nude bomb where like they're doing the parting of the Red Sea, and I just heard kids being like, are we gonna get to do that? And I'm just like, that's long gone, man.
Wait, the parting of the Red Sea?
That's been out for years.
What?
Yeah, years and years. That's gone.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah,
that was there the last time we went.
Well, that's been gone.
What do they do instead of that?
Nothing, I don't know. Nothing.
Really?
Yeah, that's been gone for a long time.
That was there the last time we went there.
Well, then you haven't been in a long time.
Yeah, like I said, it's been like 5 or 6 years.
I feel like it's been gone longer than that.
No, it was definitely there the last time we went.
I don't know.
Because it goes into like King Kong.
Yeah,
like the Skull Island sets and stuff.
No, it's definitely not there.
It's not there anymore, huh?
It's been gone.
Man, that's like a part of like history.
Well, especially because that scene in the new ball.
Yeah.
And they're like, we need to get people off this train. It's like, all right, now you're gonna do what Moses did. You're gonna walk on the and they all just jump out and then they everybody out.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
But so that was cool. And then rode on Minions, which that ride's great. And I love when they blow, like my favorite part in the pre-show when they blow the fart.
On that either.
Oh, so there's a part where Gru says he's gonna shoot everybody with his fart gun, and then he does, and you're expecting a fart smell, but he's like, why does but I guess the minions sabotage it so it smells like bananas, and they blow like banana scent into the building because you're expecting like, oh god, fart's gun.
Right.
Is this gonna smell like fart and it's bananas? And
that's awesome.
It does. It smells like bananas. But then we did Horror Nights, and it was like, I think it was the best year for Horror Nights in a long time. The mazes are all amazing. The tram was great. They consolidated the tram so there's not as much like walking around, because I felt like previous years there's this big part of the tram ride where you're just walking and there's nothing. Okay. And to try, because like it's by the Psycho House, there was this huge like dirt path where you'd walk by and there would be nothing, and like they finally like kind of got rid of that part. Huh. And it's shorter, so but I actually like it. House? Oh yeah, you still go through all that, but this year it was clowns. It was like an Eli Roth thing, but it was a really cool story. It's like about this clown that used to be like one of the mascots of the park, and he was like a big part of the park, and he had this popular show in the 60s, but then like he became like belligerent and alcoholic, and like clowns just weren't as popular anymore because clowns in popular culture were no longer, like the creepy clown thing basically happened. Right. So he lost his show. Universal fired him. So then he ended up being like one of those weird like dudes outside the park that just like takes pictures, like, you know, like the guys outside of ground shows. Right. And then eventually he got kicked off the property and nobody ever saw him again. And then like they did like a whole viral campaign this summer where like reports started coming up of weird clowns seen on the back lot of Universal. Huh. And then they have this whole story where like a lot of other clowns and other freaks like sympathize with them, so they kind of came to the back lot. So now the back lot's overrun by like this hairy clown and like all these other, so there's all these, but it's a cool story. Yeah. And then when you get the first thing, so normally when you stop where they stop you at like Whoville, there's like an army of like guys waiting for you, and this time you stop and there's just this one clown holding balloons, and that's all you see for a little bit, and it's really freaky. But it was fun, and then you walk around, and then it's pretty cool. But then there's some good haunted houses. The Krampus maze was amazing. Oh, you still haven't seen that? I haven't seen the movie, but I really want to. But it was really good. And there's like the kitchen. It smelled like gingerbread, and like there's a pine scent one. There's like all the like it smelled like peppermint. There's all these different dude, it was so good. It was really good. The scariest maze was they had an exorcist maze. And it was freaky because they did a new thing. I hadn't seen them do this before. So normally, like, you know, you go in a room, and then when you go like, you know, like in between rooms, there's usually like a corridor or something, and that's usually, you consider that like a safe area. Like they couldn't have put anything in. So in the Exorcist maze, when you leave one room, it would be like a black room, and that's where you'd go in the black room in between rooms, and that's where a scare would happen. You're like, because you're like, oh, there's nothing in this room. Like it's like a little small adjoint, like basically like a hallway. Right? Yeah, like a hallway, and it's black, but like a wall would drop and something come out, or there'd be like these projections, and then like it would turn into a real thing, or it would be like the Pazuzu you know, like that demon, like the statue, and then it would turn to life, and like it was freaky. Also, I got puked on.
Like real puke?
Well, it was like water.
Oh,
but yeah, like it turned right around at me and sprayed right in my face.
Like a monster,
like
a
the
person?
Reagan. Well, it was. I think it was an animatronic.
Oh, okay, but it's water.
Yeah,
but still.
Yeah,
sick.
Just like yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, dude. But it was really freaky.
Ugh.
It was really freaky. Just immediately I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, just because, you know, like exorcism, it's a pretty disturbing. And so like as soon as you walk in the house, I was like, because like as soon as you walk in the house, she's like crawling down the stairs. And I'm like, oh gosh, like I don't know. I'm like, I made a big mistake. And let's see, other good mazes. Freddy versus Jason was awesome. There was like a room where they did like it was a great, like, you know, like the scrim, like the screen, like, you know, like they have like when you light it one way you can't see through it, and you light it another way it's clear. So they had one where like you go in this boiler room and it just looks like a straight on each side. I'm like, oh, that's scrim on each side, like what's gonna happen? And sure enough, like they change the lights and both Freddy and Jason are on each side. Like they drop. There was a lot of like hidden things. Like that's where Universal succeeds, where Knott's does not really do that stuff. Like there's lots of fake walls. There's lots of like just like total fake out rooms where you think it's like, again, like you walk in and you just see like solid wall and then they like drop down. There was a lot of in Freddy vs. Jason, there was a lot of mirrors, and like you'd see there'd be a mirror and like Jason was in the mirror, and then it would drop and like Freddy would be in it. Like, and there was a lot of like stuff like that, like the mirror, and then like they did like special effects where like you would break through the mirror, and a lot of just like fake out stuff.
So when you said scrim, the first thing I thought it was shrim. Then I'm like, oh dude, that is horrible.
But the Freddy vs. Jason one, the Halloween one was really good. It covered like the first 3 movies. And so the Halloween 3 part was just really weird. Because, you know, that's the one with like the mask. It had nothing to do with Michael Myers.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So
I understand that one.
They had this idea where they were going to turn after the first 2 Halloween, because Halloween 2 takes place immediately after Halloween. Like Laurie's in the hospital. So Michael Myers comes to the hospiil. And so it takes place right after Halloween. And then they had this idea, which actually on paper sounds like a good idea. I just think they didn't really think about, because like people think Halloween, they think Michael Myers. So they were gonna turn, and this was John Carpenter's original idea, was Halloween. It was gonna be a horror movie. It was gonna be a movie that they would release every year on Halloween, and it would be a different story every movie. Okay. And that already went out the window with Halloween 2, but they wanted to do it. So Halloween 3, that's why it's called Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, because Season of the Witch is the actual name of the story. Like Halloween is like the anthology title.
Right.
And so they thought that they could still do this, even though they'd already had 2 movies with Michael Myers in it. And so the third one is just about this like evil, this witch, this warlock guy that like makes these masks. And like comes up with this plan to get all these kids to put on these masks, and he has like, and then like it kills them, and it's this crazy thing, nothing to do with Mike Myers. And so, but people were like, came into Halloween 3 like, where's Mike Myers? And then like it's a lot of people hate it. They hate it, and
it's a good idea, like the concept of doing the anthology movies.
But
basically,
because Halloween 2 also had Mike Myers and it was the same story, they already kind of blew that chance.
Right.
But because if Halloween 2 had been a completely different movie, they probably could have
pulled it off.
Where each year there's a new Halloween and it's a different movie. Like that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
But because the first 2 and because they were such huge hits, when they did the third one and there was no Michael Myers, like people went crazy. But now people have kind of circled back around, like, well, let's take a look at this Halloween, and the fact that they acknowledge it now, like in the mazes and stuff, is pretty cool. So that was cool. And then let's see what other mazes. I think I have my book. I will look at the mazes. So there was also probably the American Horror Story, which I had only seen the first 2 seasons, and only the first season was in the maze, and then there was 2 other seasons. There was Freak Show and then the latest one, the hotel one, and I hadn't watched those. But it was pretty cool. There was some freaky parts. The freak show was like all clowns. So and then some other stuff, and that was pretty cool. The Walking Dead, the new attraction, because it's there year round.
Right.
It was really short. I was very surprised. It was like shorter than some of the previous Walking Dead mazes that they had done. So but it looks cool. Like it's really, because it's like a permanent structure, they're able to do some cool stuff. There was a lot of cool stuff they did with like live actors in it. Like there'd be like dudes like playing like the protagonist, like fighting the zombies.
Right.
There was like a dude with a shotgun, and it looked pretty cool. And some of the zombie effects are really well done. Like just like they definitely, because again the permanent, there was like just the zombie makeup was really good. And then there was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was pretty good. I mean, like it's I don't know how they do that. They have this meat smell. It's just like yeah.
That's unpleasant.
But they like but then Derek was joking. Derek was like, "You should be a Leatherface," because there was some. Let me tell you, there were some skinny Leatherfaces in there, and I don't think Leatherface should be some like scrawny. Like Leatherface is a big guy. Like that dude. I think the dude that played Leatherface was like legit like 6'7". Like so, and like there were some of the Leatherfaces like were as big as me and like bigger. So like I could totally. And I'm like, but I don't.
Your new seasonal job there.
Be a Leatherface, because it's basically you go into a room and then he comes out with like a chainsaw. Like it's pretty much what they do, but it was pretty cool.
Of course, then you'd have to have that meat smell all day.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty gross.
I just don't. I just some of those scare guys, because all like you went to Knott's, but you didn't go in Voodoo, and Voodoo is the one maze at Knott's that's super universal, like because they have like where the scare, a lot of the scares are like there'll be like a loud noise and they pop out. It's a very unique thing, and just I would get annoyed just having to hear that. Like they must wear earplugs because it's this loud noises over and over and over. Because when you pop out, that's part of the scare. It's just like super loud noise and the lights flash.
Right.
And having to do that, they must wear earplugs because it's so loud. And just doing that over and over and over. And also you're stuck, like for those scares, it's not like they don't really have as many, because at Knott's they're the guys that are like wandering around the maze and they move around. These are very stationary. So I feel like you're just in the same place.
Doing the same thing over
doing the same. Again. I don't know. That doesn't seem exciting to me.
Yeah, that seems kind of bad. The only thing that would be fun is just to see people freak out.
Because people really freak out, dude. Because like because they're very jump scare based, like sometimes you cannot help but get like freaked out. Because even Derek will get like a little, because like again they're very jump scare based, and like there was one where I full on like I did the like run away, like just like push into like the thing and just out of like just that's my response.
Right.
And to the point where one of the how they have like just the regular guys that are in there to make sure no bad stuff happens. Right. And I think they must have cameras or something, because I get into the next room and the dude with the black sweatshirt guy full on like smiling and he gives me a thumbs up and I'm like, he had to have seen that. He must have seen what
You're
happened.
Right there, bro.
Yeah.
You're gonna make it.
Yeah. Because he was clearly laughing. But yeah. So and then they also had they condensed the scare zones into one giant scare zone, and it was the Purge, and it was basically like an outdoor maze. Huh. So because it had like a beginning and end, and it was like, and the one part that was really good in it, like a lot of it was just kind of like your standard stuff, but there was one part where it was like all these it was like trees and bushes, and they had dudes in full on ghillie suits, so you could not know you didn't know where they were. Huh. And they would pop out of everywhere. And that's cool. They scared us a bunch of times. We had my favorite scare of the night was Lynch and Jordy got to this point where they were like just kind of messing with the Purge guys, and they were just walking up to him and be like, "I purge you, I'm purging," because he's like silly because it's the Purge. So it's like, right. I'm purging, and there was one guy that was just kind of standing there, not doing anything, and so they kind of like stop and like go and like they're like trying to talk to him. and like one of the other purge guys like sees that they've got their backs turned, and I'm like, you never do that, man. Like their backs are turned to they're turning their back to like a lot of and then so one guy got right behind Jordy and like just really scared the crap out of him because he turns around and the guy's like right there. And like normally those guys don't get scared, but they got him really good. And it's like that's what you get for trying to don't try and mess with the monsters. Like because there was some dudes behind us at I forgot what maze it was where they thought that was like their strategy, and the monsters just doubled down on those guys. Like I missed a bunch of scares because I think it got to a point where they were specifically waiting for the people behind me. Because they were like their response to getting scared was they would then get up and like this. Oh, it was Walking Dead. Because this girl, I don't know. I don't know. Like it was really lame. I think they thought they were being too cool or something. Because then they would get up in the monster's face, and I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah, that's weird.
So I think they monsters got upset, and like I missed a bunch because I would walk through something and then I'd hear behind me, and it got to the point where like every time like they were waiting for the people behind me, like they
do that to whoever. Like when I was in the front of this stuff at Knott's, like they'll like make eye contact and they'll be like, all right, like to let you know, like I'm gonna get the ones behind you because it gets you more off guard because I walk through and it's fine. Yeah. So everyone behind you is like, oh, this part.
But Universal is great. Because, again, I think they have cameras everywhere because I think they noticed that I was trying to rush through, like, a room because then they would intentionally – because then, like, one time when I was in the front, I thought I was, like – I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. And then I think they noticed that I was doing that because then I walked in the room, and as soon as I walked in the room – boom. And I think they adapt. I think they know what they're doing, and they adapt to all kinds of people. Like, oh, there's a guy that thinks he can't be scared. Oh, there's this guy. And because it's very like they can come out of anywhere,
right?
They will get you. Like they will get you.
They're gonna get you. Sweet. Well,
so that was my whole Universal experience, and it was really fun.
All right.
I just don't know if next year I would do the day and night pass.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Because again, you cannot leave the park, and
so you could pay for ticket during the day.
If my whole group was in there, then that would then we could have started doing the mazes at 5 o'clock, and that would have been cool because then we could have if we had started the maze at 5 o'clock, we would have been because we had the front of the line pass, we would have been out of there by like we probably because we would have finished the first 5 before the park even opened, and then we would have done the tram and then like the other 2 mazes like right away. We probably would have been out of there by like 8 o'clock because we were done by 10:30.
Well, now you know for next time you just got to plan ahead of time.
The front of the line ain't cheap.
Yeah.
I just looked at. I had the money and I was like, I'm gonna do it.
All right. How much is it?
It was like $200.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
For one, like just for the front of the line part, or total?
Total. Well, it's $200 for your. That's for you like for Halloween Horror Nights and the front of the line pass.
Okay.
And then it's $250 for the
day pass.
Pass too, and it's front of the line for the day stuff, except for Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey.
Okay.
But I got front of the line on the tram, front of the line on Minions, so I don't have to wait in any lines.
I mean, that's cool.
The only thing I waited in, I ended up not waiting in line for Harry Potter, so I didn't wait in line for anything all day. And let me tell you, when you see because like the maze lines, they get like 2 hours, like 2.5, and like you're just. And like I couldn't imagine because there's no maze. I don't think there would be any maze where if I waited 2.5 hours, I would then be satisfied with what I waited for 2.5 hours for. Because let me tell you, oh dude, Knott's. Oh my gosh. So Knott's on Saturday. We went to Knott's on Saturday with Mike, and because when we went, it was not crowded.
Right.
Holy crap. It was so crowded, but we got there early enough where right away we did like those. We did, that area in the back where there's the 4 mazes. Yeah. Like we did that right away because those ones get super crazy. And then we did a couple more mazes, but then it started getting because then we wanted to go do that laser tag one, but like the park had only been open for like an hour, and already the line for that laser tag one was 2.5 hours. Oh. So we're like, all right, we're not doing that. Then we went over to the samurai one, and that's when we realized that the park was like we were past the point of like getting on stuff because then we went over the samurai one 2 hours and then like we went check back at so then we kind of did some other stuff. We did the mine train, did some rides, that weren't crowded, because then even the roller coaster lines got nuts.
Man,
like super crowded. Everything's super long. Even like the Elvira show like filled up, like the first one.
Wow, you tell them like, guys.
Well,
not worth
Mike
it.
and I like told all the kids like, you don't want it, but they like, we want to go. So we kind of split up from a bunch, and we went on more mazes. Like we went on Voodoo again, but by like 10, the line for Paranormal Inc. was 3 hours.
Ugh.
And that is the best one. Yeah. But I would not wait 3 hours. I wouldn't wait 3 hours for anything. Like,
all right, tonight's episode is called Maze Craze.
Maze Craze.
Yeah.
But
that's your craze. It's tonight.
But yeah, but it was just so crowded. I couldn't believe how crowded it was. But it's because they don't cap it anymore. Like I remember Knott's, like at least Universal, they sell out. They need to cap it way lower because like I couldn't imagine paying even $75 or however much it is, and then having to wait like 3 hours for a maze. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then like I would not do that. That's why I'm like, it's either spend a lot of, but I had the money, so I did it, and it was fun. Yeah. So let's move on to book corner.
All right.
I've read a bunch of books because we haven't done it in a while.
You have, yes.
So I read the familiar number one rainy day in May, which is Mark Daniszewski.
Yeah, the Poe's brother. Right?
Yeah, and he is basically it's like he wanted to write a series of books, like a season of a TV show where it's like a serialized. So he has a plan to write like 30 of these books.
Crazy. And
he's already done 3 of them. So I read the first one, and it basically is the story. It's like there's like 6 or 7 major characters, and it go like and then like they're all kind of tied together by this series of events. And that's about as how well I can explain it.
Okay.
But then it's very him, where I got it on ebook because it was on sale for $2, but for the next ones I'm probably gonna at least check the books out of the library, if not maybe buy them, because it's like House of Leaves. Like it's not as much as House of Leaves, but it's still like plays with like the text and the formatting. Right. And like this one, there was like a chapter of it was in graphic novel form.
Huh.
Like it goes super cool. Like just like it goes all like with all the like weird stuff. Like he plays with the format very much like not as much as House of Leaves, but on that right. Like very similar. So you want the actual book, and it's really cool. Then I'm a big Kurt Vonnegut fan, and I had gotten Cat's Cradle, I think, for 99 cents. And so I read Cat's Cradle. It's really good. It's a kind of a farce, like dealing with like, I think it's commentary on like the Cold War, because it's probably dealing with there's like this, it's about this guy, he's writing a book about this Nobel Prize winning scientist, and it turns out this guy created this doomsday weapon, and then he died, and then his kids inherited it. So he's trying to find out more information about this, and he ends up on this island that's run by run by a dictator, and it's just like this kind of farce about this island run by a dictator and how they bring about the end of the world, and just kind of the foolishness of government. And it's really a good read. I really liked it. Again, like if you like Vonnegut at all, like if you read Slaughterhouse-Five,
that's the one I've read. And some short stories.
It reminded me a lot of like Sirens of Titan, where because it's a little bit more like out there, kind of goofy. I really liked it though.
Cool.
It was and it's a quick read. And then are you familiar with the Don't Know Much About History books?
No.
Kenneth C. Davis. So when I was in 8th grade, my history teacher would print out, like he would read excerpts of this book, and it's called Don't Know Much About History. And basically, it's like stuff that is either too like graphic or just too controversial, or like just stuff they don't teach you in the history books, but like real history. Like that was the first time, like in a history class because he talked, like the lesson he taught us from this Don't Know Much About History was about like how Christopher Columbus, it's a load of crap,
Right.
and also like Thanksgiving is a load of crap, and like what most history books teach you is very whitewashed, and a lot of these stories kind of cover like what really happened and and using like first person, and that's how because in history you learn about like the different like levels of like sourcing,
right.
And so Kenneth C. Davis would and this was the first instance, because history books, they tend to, you just like, you're reading it and they're like, it's very different than like reading like primary sources, and don't know much about history. Most of it is directly like, he directly just quotes primary sources and stuff, like he goes through like letters and reading like art, and so this guy, but he puts it in a way that's not boring. It's very, because again, a lot of this is like very nitty gritty, like bloody stuff. Like, so if Cowards, when I was 8th grade, I ate it up. I was like, because then it was also this moment where I'm like, they've been lying to us. Like, like they have been not outright lying, but definitely glossing over a lot of things, and also giving you this narrative that's kind of bogus.
Right.
So, and that's what really got me into history. So I've read a lot of his books, and one of his newer ones, and this was also geared to a more like academic adult audience. It's called America's Hidden History, and it basically covers pre-revolution, and all the way up to, and like, well, actually starts with like Ferdinand and Isabella. So we're talking like 1490,
wow, okay.
And basically the explorers, all the way up conquistadors, and all the way up to like the founding of the country. And it's all just like the nitty gritty, like this stuff is, yes, we are here as a country, but our history, it's not as simple as like we love like the stories, history books, like, oh, pilgrims in India, like and like Columbus, and like this whole, like the whole history is just founded on blood basically, and a lot of like, just, it's crazy, like, and so a lot of the story, and then also even just the founding of the country, like it was not as cut and dry. I was like, we all don't like Britain and we're gonna make this constitution, and it all went great. And
that's how politics always work.
And then also reading about like the true story of like Benedict Arnold, and how he was almost like how he, like, not that what he, like, because he almost surrendered. He was going to surrender West Point, and that probably would have been real bad. But leading up to that, there were like just the way he was treated by George Washington and by other people and by their army, that led to his decision, and how that could have probably gone another way. Maybe if people because if it wasn't for Benedict Arnold, like won some major, he was like, and a lot of that is wiped out, like a history, like the good things that he did before he did that, and how it's not as like cut and dry, not as black and white, not like, and again, like just reading that stuff, I'm always very fascinated, like, because like history is written by the victors, and just hearing the other stories. So that kind of led me down this rabbit hole of like other stories like that. So now I'm reading, many consider this the definitive book of the history of the Native Americans, and it's written by, and it's all primary sources. Like she basically compiled the first-hand accounts of the Native Americans and of the U.S. soldiers that were involved during this period, during the whole like conquest, the Western expansion, and basically wiping out the Native Americans from everywhere. And it's called Bury My Heart, A Wounded Knee. It's very famous. I mean, I'd heard about it, but it was on sale again, and man, is it depressing.
Well, I can imagine that.
And it's just like, oh my gosh, dude. Like the moment you're like, okay, well, like this is, it can't get, the moment you're like, well, this is about as worse. Nope, it's really like, oh, here's a story about how they just like, because like they basically, because it was like this gradual thing, like, oh, okay, we're gonna, they basically would make treaties with like the Native Americans, and then they would basically not honor those treaties.
Right.
They'd make like specific, okay, we're not going to build any roads through here. Then they build roads through there, and then they do this, and then we're going to move. Oh, you're going to love this reservation. It's going to be great. And then they'd all go to this reservation, and they'd all die of like starvation because they wouldn't feed them, and like just all these crazy stuff. And then it got to the point where they're just outright like, we're just going to kill them all. We're just going to kill them all. Like basically, like and then that's pretty much what happened. Like just like kill everybody. And so horrible. It's just horrible. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you do with that information, but it's just it's definitely like something I want to know more about, and yeah. It's crazy. But also it's like, but then I don't, I mean, it's horrible, but I also like when people try and say like that's uniquely American, that's where that's definitely not the case. Like, I mean, you go back through all of human history, every culture that's around today conquered, like, I mean, the European culture, like the history of all that's just as bloody. And then even in American history, they talk about Spain like conquering the Moors and wiping them out and kicking them out, but then the Moors before them, they killed everybody before that. Like, so it's just like the European history is almost, because then like you just have generations of these guys wiped out these guys, and then they got wiped out by these guys, and they got wiped out by these guys. And so like here though, I mean, like, I don't know, dude, the Native Americans seemed like they were pretty chill until like. So yeah, then also better technology and they had been hearing all these stories about what like Spain had done, because as bad as that was, like reading about the conquistadors, like that's a whole other level of just like horrifying. And then that kind of got me back to reminding me about that worship song that's about like that burn the ship. Because I'm like, you're celebrating something completely horrific.
Yeah, that's a very ill-advised lyric there.
Because again, like the conquistadors like were awful. Yeah, like absolutely awful. It's all awful, but it's just crazy reading all that. So I think I'm gonna have to kind of bounce around a little bit with some of my books, because I'm like, I don't know if I can keep reading some of these.
Read something funny in between there.
Light reading, but that's kind of where I'm at. Also, I finished More Information Than You Require. It was a John Hodgman book. It was the second book, so it's basically stuff he made up, and it's really fun. You would really love it, and it's really funny, and it's just really entertaining. Like it all. So this, I'd done the audio book for the first one, but the book, I think I would rather have it in book form, because he has a lot of fun illustrations and like things, and then like each page, it's also a page a day calendar, and so like the events. So he has all these made up, really funny events, and just really clever stuff. I really like it. So that's all my books.
Sweet. Well, while I'm still plodding through Harry Potter.
Are you almost done with Order of the Phoenix?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in the middle somewhere. They're at the school. Got a new Defense of the Dark Arts teacher.
Who would have thought the Harry Potter books would like stop our freaking book club?
Man, here's the thing.
I plowed through
up until this point. I have planned every single book. As soon as I didn't plan it, it just all fell apart. I think that's the problem.
What does that say about you?
It says I'm a control freak. No, it's not that. It's long. I've never picked one that's this long. That's why.
I guess I read them. I guess I read like really fast.
You're a fast reader, and I don't know. It's been a slower read than I would have thought. We did finish Ramona and Her Father with the kids though, which is great.
Oh, yeah, that's a serious one.
Yeah, but they did really well with it. Like we've had some really good talks, because
you talk about smoking.
Yeah, like smoking. And I mean, they're aware of it, and they've we've talked about that before, and that it's not good for you and blah blah blah. But
speaking of that,
yeah,
I know your mom was saying like we should, because she had heard the ad about Proposition 56, the like smoking thing.
Yeah.
Like as Mike pointed out, who sponsors that? Because you know what Proposition 56 is? No. It's a cigarette tax.
Okay.
And so because she said that the ad that basically says like it doesn't actually do what it says it is. Guess who sponsors that ad?
Who?
The tobacco companies.
Oh, of course. Okay, but here's a funny story about that though. Janelle had totally, like, she thought my mom had said that, but the story that actually happened was we were driving along. I was with my mom, and we saw the billboard, and it said, like, stop smoking, and it was like, it was passing a law, vote for this, stop smoking. And our joke was like, oh, if we'd known it was that easy all along to stop smoking, we would have passed the law a long time ago. Yeah. And so we were laughing about it, and then Janelle heard us like later, like, what are you guys talking about? And we told her, but she thought like my mom had like studied it or something. We just saw a dumb billboard. So don't take the political advice you hear. Necessarily.
My thing with political ads, especially with the propositions, when you hear like vote no on this, the first thing you always do is find out who's behind that campaign.
Yeah, who's saying
so as soon as you find out, of course the tobacco companies are like vote no on this. So
it is good advice, but just not because of any research we did. It was just because we saw a billboard.
Well, anyways,
but I did also start. I'm reading a book that is a Lisa Graff book. It's called The Thing About Georgie. Got another one of hers, and it's great. It's about a little kid who's a dwarf.
Okay.
And man, she's amazing. We got to have her back on too.
Yeah.
Because it's super good. So, but those are the books I've read. You guys can read along with us if you want. You could probably catch up on Harry Potter at this point. But real quick, I got to talk about Blue Christmas, and then we'll move along here. But we have Blue Christmas coming up in December. It's gonna be December 3rd. Okay. It's the first Saturday of December, right around. We have a venue. It's gonna be in Big Bear again, but at a different place.
Okay.
But it's gonna be in Big Bear again. And we got a really good lineup. Mm-hmm. So here's what we got. The only sad news, and I'll tell you this up front, A+B can't make it this year. Oh. Josh is going to like a PlayStation event.
Oh, that's in Anaheim that weekend. Adam Wells is going to that, and he wants me to go, but if it's Blue Christmas, then I can't go.
I mean, it's not the whole weekend. Obviously, ours is just an evening. Yeah. And Josh and Rachel even said they might try to like come up and see it or something, but they're not going to, be there in time to play. So I don't think they probably will. But the point is, just wanted to give you that front.
PlayStation experience.
Yeah. So A+B will not be there, but we got a great lineup. So here's what we got. We have Radio Relay League coming back again. Nice. That's Tim from Ohm's Law, his band. We have B is Bridgie is going to come back. Now that, remember last time?
Well, they did
his other band played because, but we're going to do another try at having B is Bridgie actually play, and they're great. Then we've got Isopod. You remember Isopod? Yeah. We saw them up at.
They're from up there.
They're actually from Texas.
Okay.
But then they
were on tour.
I think they were on tour because the other guys that played with them were Radio Way was from up there. But he's from Texas, and he was up at Tom Fest, and then we actually had him play at Big Bear like a few years ago, like 5 years ago or something like that. So he's coming back out from Texas to play this.
Awesome.
So that's great. So Radio Relay League, Isopod, then B is Bridgie. Then we have Bittersweet Way.
Nice.
Jed's coming back. He didn't play last year. He's a mainstay of the show for many, many years. And Son of Heatwave is going to play.
Awesome.
Yeah, which I haven't seen them in like a few years.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about that. And that's our lineup. It's going to be great.
No Ann Lynn because they're gone.
Ann Lynn is in. Yeah, I mean that's another big.
Did they move already?
Yeah, he's been out there for like almost a month now.
Man,
out in Minnesota.
Man.
So no Ann Lynn at Blue Christmas, which sad, but we got a good lineup though. I mean, it's a fantastic lineup, and I'm really excited about.
Where in Minnesota?
Bands. I don't remember.
Find out.
Yeah, he told me. I don't remember the name of the town though.
Like maybe my mom wanted.
Yeah.
Check it out.
But if you're going to be in Southern California, December 3rd, it's a Saturday, which is also good because remember last year was Friday, and then everyone's having a hard time getting up from work and stuff. Yeah. So this new place we're at, it seems like it's going to be a lot better deal. So should be cool, and you guys should check it out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got to get through this, but DVD on demand.
Wait, I saw a new movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
You saw Masterminds.
I saw Masterminds.
How was it?
It's amazing. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I'm so sad that like more people have not seen it. Like we were in a theater and there was two other couples, and it's funny.
See it at Harkins?
We saw it at Harkins.
Okay.
And this is my consolation prize also for having to go to a kid's birthday party, although it wasn't so painful. Mm-hmm. But we got more free passes for the kids thing.
Yeah.
They keep giving them to us, so we had to use them this weekend.
That's a trick.
So it is, but it's great because we're going to go to the movies anyway. Anyway, it's super funny. It's for people that don't know. It's Zach Galifianakis, Kristen Wiig, Owen Wilson, Leslie Jones, Kate McKinnon. It's got 3 out of the 4 Ghostbusters in it.
I want to see it.
It's so funny. It's directed by Jared Hess, Napoleon Dynamite, and it definitely has some like wackiness to it. But I think it's probably like his most mainstream-ish, although it is super goofy. It's so funny. It's super funny, and it's based on a true story. And my favorite parts, like you can see like the real people and the fake people.
Okay,
I love that stuff. Like it's real. It's great. Super funny. So I hope more people go out and see it.
Cool,
because it's good.
Well, DVD on Demand corner. I've been watching a lot of wrestling, WWE Network, watching all that stuff. South Park has been really good. Doing like election stuff. They're doing
but they're having a field day.
Yeah, but then also like just like social media and just kind of like that whole like this is some really funny stuff. And they're doing a lot of serialized. Now that they're doing like continuity, it's like a different show, but in a good way. And it's really funny. And then, like I said, I watched CISO show that I did last time.
Oh, yeah.
I Take My Wife with Cameron Esposito and Rhea Butcher, and then just like a lot of comedians that you probably are familiar with, because it's basically it's like Marin, it's them, but like not them, and like so like they they're comedians and they go to do comedy shows but it's really funny and then Bajillion Dollar Properties, where it's like it's a realty company and Paula Tompkins runs the company, and then it's like all these, so it's making fun of all those realty shows,
right,
and it's so funny. Like it's so funny because usually like whoever's house they're selling, it'll be like a big comedy guest star. Like I saw one like Scott Aukerman, like Nick Kroll. The season 2, which they just put up, has got like Weird Al and like a bunch of other people, and oh my gosh, it's so funny. I guess the first one I watched, the first episode, it's got like Adam Scott, and he's like this rock star, and like so he's like friends with one of the realtors, and he comes over and he's like totally like wasted. He's like, oh yeah, I want to sell my house, and yeah, sell it, and then so they like sell the house, and then like the people move in and he's all sober, so he's like, wait, who are you? Wait, what? Get out of my house. But then they get him drunk again, and then he remembers, oh yeah, I sold my house.
That's funny.
And it's really funny. And then Last Man on Earth, holy cow! Like again, like I don't
saw
know.
This week, right?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for those.
But dude, like last week's again, like how I talk about, like they went. It's so crazy how they just play with your emotions so much. Where I went from like laughing, and then Todd's whole thing where I'm crying with like that was last week's when like when Todd thought he had killed the dude and Tandy, and then like because like I keep forgetting the new guy's name. Lewis. It's Lewis. So Lewis goes off and he's like, why would you lie to us? And then like Tandy's like, and then like Tandy kind of says like, because like, and then like Todd just has this breakdown. They all kind of, and then I'm like, oh my gosh. But then it goes right back to like, oh, he's not dead, and like, oh, he gone, like like that. And then this week when they're like, and then like, and like the whole thing with like Melissa just going crazy.
Yeah,
she built like, a sniper's nest like, and then like landmines on the beach, and like, and then like, but like I love
the fish, the like singing fish all the way down.
Oh, dude, the big mouth Billy Bass, and that's their alarm system, and then just.
But then their system is they have to wear tap shoes and blow a whistle as they walk down
they
the
know
hall,
it's them,
so they don't get shot.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. And then but then like the real moments, like especially the whole like Lewis Tandy relationship.
When he asks him to be his friend,
and then like where he accidentally tases him, and
I love,
but then,
the
like,
guy that plays Lewis is
he's
great
so
too.
good because
Love is like, I just feel like I really think you're gonna tase me. Like, I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen.
But then like they have these genuine moments, like when because he just wants to scream at Tandy, but then he realizes, he's like, why aren't we leaving? And then he's like, oh, like they do have a connection here. And then, but then like, then it's also so goofy. Like even in their graveyard, they buried Cher because they were at Cher's house, and like,
oh, I love how they took all the like crazy stuff that you wrote on the wall, but like changed it. Like, you're all going to diet. And I'm meaning to take off beans.
And so that was great. And then let's see. I'm still angry at Bob's Burgers, where this whole every other week there's no episode.
I know.
I think it's football's fault, and that's very annoying.
It is sports. I'm telling you. And you want me to watch Rocky?
But
look what sports does.
Last week's Bob's Burgers was great.
Okay, I can't even remember now.
It was the oh shoot.
Well, I know it was great, but I don't remember which one it was because it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was really funny.
All right. Some good commentary there.
Scream Queens. I think I'm up. Because at first I wasn't so sure about this season, but John Stamos is really funny, and he's in it this season. And Kirstie Alley is in it this season. She's really funny. It's really good. It's pretty goofy. I mean, that's it's supposed to be goofy, but it's pretty good.
I actually did watch the first episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh yeah, so you saw Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I saw Ghost Rider. I haven't
you
caught up all the way.
You gotta catch up a little bit before they start dropping off.
Well, there's only like 4, I think.
Because I think they're only doing 5.
Yeah.
For 5. So yeah,
but Ghost Rider's great.
Yeah, dude, it looked great, right?
Man.
You could tell they spent some money.
Oh yeah, they did. But
more
it's
than
so
the
cool.
usual.
So good and scary.
Like
it's kind of a cool turn in tone for the
Ricky,
show.
It's Ricky Reyes. And it's not Johnny Blaze, who's the other Ghost Rider,
which I think they were wisely.
I think that was a good decision.
There, yeah.
And so it was. Yeah, I mean that makes sense because it's not. Yeah, it's totally different, and he's got the car, and it's really great.
Looks amazing.
Yeah,
and his fight with Quake.
Yeah, and the whole thing where she's basically she's the rogue.
Yeah.
She's gone rogue, and so now, and then you got the whole thing where Coulson's not the director anymore; he's just another agent, and dealing with that, and so you're not at the point where I'm at, where the new director and just dealing with all that. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's really good. I've been really enjoying it. Let's see. Hulu made a new Ron Howard made a Beatles documentary. It's on Hulu.
Okay.
It's called 8 Days a Week. It's specifically because Derek was complaining about it because he's it didn't seem like a definitive good. But I'm like, that's not what this is. This isn't meant to be a definitive Beatles documentary. It's just about the time when they were out on tour.
Okay.
It's about it's the touring era. Mostly they're touring in the U.S., but also. It starts off going through a little bit of the beginning of the band, but it's mostly about this specific period.
That's also been done in various places.
And I thought it did a really good job of capturing all that, and then how things just got completely insane, and Beatlemania, and then how it wore them out huge, and why they went and just basically became a studio making these albums, and some of the best albums ever made. And the reason why we got those albums because they were just so sick of touring that they kind of threw themselves into the studio and we're we're done, we're not touring anymore, and we're gonna make these albums. And they cranked out, and that's how those albums happened. And but then also just seeing it's just so people try and compare Beatles to New Kids on the Block and some of those things that was the Beatlemania. I don't think, unless you were there, my mom kind of tried to it's a different level. We have not seen anything like that in our lifetime, our generation.
Even with One Direction?
I don't think so. You look at watching, because that's I think what it's trying to convey, that it completely insane. Where they the reason they're the first band that played in stadiums, and it was because they would have, especially over here, they would put on, they were doing the auditoriums, and you have let's say you have a 5,000, 10,000 seat auditorium, and 80,000 people would show up, and it would create these insane riot situations. So at a certain point, local authorities and everything had to be you can't do this. You're creating these insane, these horrific situations. People are dying because, again, the 80,000 people would show. So that's why that's why Shea Stadium happened. That's why, and I'm I'm sorry, but there's nothing like that. I think that was a very unique thing. Elvis, that's the only thing comparable.
Yeah.
It's so nuts. Just and the way they I was really good. I really liked it. And it also just reinforced just how insanely talented those guys are. Just watching them, because you basically had two amazing frontmen in John Lennon and Paul McCartney, and then you had George Harrison and Ringo Starr. People love to make fun of his art, but he's a great drummer, and he's great at what he does. And but I think it's because those other three guys are, because Ringo Starr would be I don't think you would remember the way he had if it had been but it's because those three were so insanely talented, like so insanely talented. But he's probably one of the best drummers ever. But because again he's going up, he's compared to the other three guys in the band, especially John and Paul. I mean, like, because like, gosh, dude, and just hearing them, like, because I don't know if you ever heard like some of their like just studio stuff where they're like just coming up with these things that end up being some of the most iconic songs of all time. Like they're just kind of feeling it out, and you're just like, you're hearing these songs happen, which are like these crazy iconic. It's crazy. It's just really cool. And I know, you know, I mean, sure, like, you understand, like with the music documentary, it's like, it's as a person that's really loves that, like just watching it. Music documentary. And, oh, it's so good. So that was good. And then, so Universal Studios, it was cool because I watched the first 3 episodes because your mom was talking about it. The Good Place with Kristen Bell and Ted Danson. Oh yeah, what is the premise again? She goes to heaven. And, that's right. And so Ted Danson's like, so basically in this version, the afterlife, it's like, it's basically it's designed for you, and then you're basically living in this neighborhood basically with like, I think it's like 200 other people, and that's your heaven. Okay. And Ted Danson plays like basically a higher being that designed, it's his first time getting to design one on his own, and he screwed up a little bit, and Kristen Bell is not actually supposed to be there, but she has to basically, because of that, like, because of she's not a good person and she's not really good, her just being there causes all kinds of, like, because it's out of balance, like something's wrong, and so she causes all this stuff to happen, even though she has to become a good person, and so she can stay there and not go to the bad place is what they call it. So it's pretty good though. Oh, it's really good. It's really good. I like it a lot. And Ted Danson's great. Kristen Bell's great. The rest of the cast. And so the set where they filmed it, like the little town, they had that full setup. It's in, the European village in the back. Yeah. That's all that right now. So it was cool actually getting to go on the studio tour and seeing the whole town. That's cool. And so I knew all that, and it's really funny, and so it's been really good. Nice. And I also started watching Westworld on HBO, and it is nutsos. It's really good. I've heard a lot of people crazy, are into it. But it's because it's everything, like they're doing what you wanted them to do, like what you wanted the movie to be, and the movie really wasn't that. Yeah. And this is it. Like it's so nuts. And they have infinite possibilities with this. Like they could do this because it's still just because you don't get to see the other worlds. Well, the other worlds. There's other worlds, and even in this, you don't even do that. But I'm like, so even if they play out Westworld, they still have the other worlds. Like this could go on for a long time. That's cool. That's a cool. I mean, even like they could do each season, like an American Detective or whatever. Because even the show hasn't even, because in the movie they at least allude, in the show they haven't. Like they haven't even talked about like fantasy world and future world. They've got that, and they do. They have those, and that's in their pocket. Yeah. But this could, even just this, and it's crazy seeing like Anthony Hopkins is in this, and he's a big part of it. Really? Yes. That's cool. Like it's like Anthony freaking Hopkins. That's where we're at now. We are truly in a golden era of TV. I mean, I know they say that a lot, but I think it's true. Like when you've got Anthony Hopkins doing an HBO show, like. It's pretty nuts. So that's great. What do you got here? Well, we talked about Bob's Burgers and Last Man on Earth. Brooklyn Nine-Nine this season is just killing it. Yeah. Like it's already been a good show, but like the best episodes yet. I also didn't put it on here, but we've also been watching Superstore, which has also been like a fantastic sophomore season. That was another thing where I got to they one of the soundstage, the doors were open and it was the Superstore. Oh, have you watched any of it? I haven't yet. But I want to. I think I said. Well, it's the new Greg Daniels show, and I think it's gonna be like Parks and Rec, where the first season is good. Kind of took them to get their bearings, but then like, the second season is off. Because I think that what they do is, I think they did the first season and they kind of see what characters, because like I feel like they're feeling it out, and then when because if you will watch the first season of Parks and Rec, like it's good, but like. Ron Swanson is like, I mean, like all the characters, like Ron, like they're there, but they're not there. They're not like, them yet either. Like Ron and Andy and and
well,
all.
Then like some people like go away,
Yeah.
and they get new people in, and but yeah, I feel like this is kind of like that. Like now, all of a sudden, like this season, just right out the door, has just been fantastic.
Well, that's good.
So yeah,
I definitely want to check
that
it
one
out. And then, so then on Netflix side, I think we talked about Mascots was great.
Yeah,
you need to watch it.
I need to watch that.
I had assumed I was gonna text you. I feel bad now.
It's a busy weekend,
but
wasn't home much.
Dude, it was so good. And then I've been watching a little bit more Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I'm still working my way through season 1.
We watched some of that
because season 2 just started, and so I want to catch up so I can watch. It's so good. It's so funny.
How far in?
I'm on like episode 7.
Oh, okay, I think we're past you then.
Yeah, you're definitely past me. You guys are watching.
Yeah, we just saw some really funny ones.
But it's so funny. I really like it. And then Luke Cage is so good. I'm kind of taking it slow because I want to savor it.
Right.
So I'm on episode. I think I just finished episode 9. There's 13. It's so good. It's so stinking. Dude, these Marvel Netflix shows, like, oh my gosh. It's so good. Yeah. You haven't even watched Daredevil season 2.
I started it. I watched the first 2, but I haven't finished it.
But like, you gotta watch Luke Cage.
I know. So many good things.
And they already like announced. So at New York Comic Con, they brought out. So they showed the Iron Fist trailer.
And, I saw that.
And then they brought out all the Defenders. And then they announced that Sigourney Weaver is the villain of the first season of Defenders.
Yeah, this is like this world that we live in.
And like Punisher is gonna be in Iron Fist. And like all this other stuff that they're talking about, like all these crossovers. I don't want to spoil the big crossover in Daredevil season 2, but the last episode there's a big crossover moment, and you're gonna dig it. And so I don't want to spoil it because
I'll see it.
It's awesome. But yeah, so Luke Cage is so good. It's so good, and it's so its own thing. And the soundtrack's amazing. The music is amazing. Everything. Oh, dude, it's so freaking good. And it's so good. And then I think I'm on episode 3 of season 2 of Detectorists.
Still good.
Oh, dude, it's so stinking good. And I've been listening a lot to Johnny Flynn, who does the music, does the song, which I love that song.
Such a good song.
And but then his other, because he's like an Irish folk singer, basically. And the rest of it, I've been listening to a lot of his albums, and they're really good. I really dig it. But I love that show. I love the tone of the show.
Yeah.
I love the chemistry between Mackenzie Crook and Toby Jones is just like, they're so funny, but there's a lot of heart to it.
Yeah, it is. It's totally that. I think the BBC has like the corner in the market for that, like, seriously funny but like heartwarming at the same time.
Yeah. Speaking of what's the Ricky Gervais? What's that show name?
Extras?
No.
Office?
No. The character, the old folks home one.
Oh, Derek.
So the main lady in Derek.
Yeah.
She's in Mascots.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
She plays the wife of one of the mascots.
Oh, nice. She's great.
Dude, Mascots is so. You're gonna love Mascots. You're gonna love it. You're going to love it. It's like, wait. I think you're going to really love it. It's so funny, but it's also so like, because, Christopher Guest does that really, like, he always has like, there's always like a super heartwarming thing in it too. Like, and he really nailed it this time, especially because, I don't know, like I was talking about this with Lynch, like Family Tree just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
I didn't even finish it.
Did he watch it all?
He didn't finish it either. I told it because I think he didn't even get far enough because I told him about how much that puppet lady freaked me out, and then the more I told him about it, the more he remembered, and he was like, "Oh yeah. Like that puppet lady."
Weird, like, not fun.
Yeah, like, and I think but I could see Christopher Guest thinking like, "Oh, this lady like is amazing," like because I could just see he's got that kind of goofy, like, and I'm like, "Oh no, I can't follow you."
Probably didn't watch that documentary first.
Yeah, because if you have, maybe we should. Oh man,
check this out.
But yeah, because I never even finished it. I might finish it now that I have HBO Now, because Carson let me use his HBO Now. I might try and finish it, but I don't know. I don't like that lady.
No, it just wasn't fun.
But I love what's his name?
From IT Crowd.
Yeah, he's so good. Chris O'Dowd, and he's amazing in Mascots. His mascot is the Fist. and because he's a hockey mascot, and he's just a giant fist on roller skates, and he like just punches people, and he's like a real like,
awesome.
Oh, dude, he's so funny. He's so funny. He lives in a Winnebago, and it's just like, oh, dude, it's great. So what about you? Got Netflix stuff?
I'm on like season 3 of Star Trek: The Next Generation now.
Yeah,
moving along. Beverly Crusher is back.
Yeah,
after that weird whole season where she was off ship for some reason, and they had the other lady that's never mentioned again. What was her name? Dr. Pulaski.
Oh yeah, Dr. Pulaski. Yeah. That's right.
She's fine. I didn't mind her, but I like Beverly Crusher better.
I think because who did they replace Tasha with? Like, did they ever even?
They don't really. Worf just kind of.
That is the weirdest. Like, I think I read about why they, because I think like something happened where like they realized they didn't. They're like, we don't need that. We have too many characters.
Yeah.
And I think there was like some weird negotiations thing.
Yeah, I don't think she was super cooperative,
but then they just like, it was just so crazy because it was like, oh, she's dead.
Yeah, she's gone.
Like that blob. It was that blob thing. Just ate her, and then that was it.
Right, and then like later on, Data reveals that they were like lovers.
Yeah,
like, and that's weird. Like, that's a weird scene when he's talking about that, because you're like, you're a robot.
It's so goofy. Yeah. But it was just so good because that black blob just killed her. Just, it seemed like very indiscriminately.
Very much so. It's the kind of thing where it would have been a red shirt in any other episode, because it's not like a big glorious thing.
Quick.
Yeah. I kind of didn't like her character that
much. I think that might have also came into play. Like, I don't think people.
And basically Worf was just taking over that because because
wasn't she like the security?
Security, right?
Yeah.
I guess that's the thing, is that she was never believable as that. Like, I could have seen her as something else, but when she's like, and she's tough, and then you've got like Worf there that's like, oh yes, and I'm like, dude, the Klingon's gonna be the guy that's that. I mean, come on, you've got a Klingon on the bridge. He's the one that's gonna be beating up people. So anyway, that's about it.
All right.
You know what time it is?
It's time.
It is very time.
It's Marmaduke time.
All right. So this is going to be interesting. I just peeked at this last time. I didn't actually read it.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the last one? Oh, yeah, they bought a new car. Okay. So here we go. So Phil and Dot are sitting on the couch. Marmaduke's sleeping at their feet.
Mm-hmm.
And they're watching TV. And Phil says, that movie must be 20 years old. And the next panel, he says, I like these old movies. And then the next panel, she says, me too. They're so romantic. Meanwhile, Marmaduke's still sleeping on the floor.
What the crap? Wait, what is happening?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying here. So then they start like getting closer and closer. They're snuggling on the couch. They're like,
oh
and
my
then
God.
Phil says, you mean mushy? Sigh. And then she's like,
they're
sigh.
They're like getting intimate.
They're starting to. But then at this point, Marmaduke pops his head up like, what? And he jumps up, stands up, full stand.
Yeah. He's standing like a person.
And uses his feet as hands, his front feet, to smack them in the face.
He gets in between them.
He punches him. Look at his face is all distorted. It looks like his tooth is coming out. He's a little gentler with Dot, but he's like punching Phil.
Yeah, he punches Phil in the face.
Punches him. He stands up, fully upright, and then sits in between them, and Phil says, jealous. And she says, very.
Is there something going on between Marmaduke and Dot?
I don't know, but that's a weird one, right? Not to mention, we should show them this picture.
He full on punches.
He's standing
Phil
up and
face.
is punching. I mean, that looks like a scene out of a boxing movie where his like face is all distorted like that.
This is implying that there's something going on between Marmaduke and Dot.
Yeah, and look, he's sitting on her side.
Yeah,
like he's cuddling with her. Marmaduke is, and pushing his hand to push Phil away in the last frame.
That's disturbing.
It's weird, right? Like, okay, take away like our theory about blah blah. What does this strip mean without a weird theory behind it?
It means something is going on between Marmaduke and Dot.
Yeah, like that's a weird strip.
And also, he full on punches.
And he punches.
Phil in the face.
Plus, this picture here, he is standing upright and using his front paws as hands.
This looks like a human body.
Human. It's a person in a dog suit standing upright there.
Yeah,
that's a weird picture.
So maybe Phil killed his grandpa because he knew Phil killed his dad because he knew something was going on between the dad and Dot.
I mean,
we have a motive now.
We've got motive. Now we didn't know why he killed him before.
We have a motive.
But that's definitely what's going on, because in this last one, Marmaduke is like sitting on her lap practically and then pushing Phil away. So he's on He's on her side.
And Dot doesn't seem to have a giant problem with it.
No, I mean, she says very. I mean, she's not super.
But she's not like getting up and like, no, Marmaduke.
This is a weird strip, man. I mean, again, even outside of any weird theories,
this is a very
weird strip.
Can you imagine being a kid and reading this? Being
yeah.
like,
Marmaduke is jealous of them like making out. I don't know. This is taking a dark turn.
Brandon, this is really weird. I mean, like, this is one of those, like, Anderson was like, all right, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I'm doing it.
I mean, how did that even 1982?
We have, but I mean, like, in our theory, we have a motive now.
We have a motive. No, absolutely. There was something going on with him and his wife, with him and Dot, and Phil got mad and killed him. And that's the only explanation here. And this last shot, I mean, the expression he's making is a very human face there also.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he kind of looks older there. If you think of that as like a mustache instead of like his jowls.
It kind of looks like it.
It looks like he's a person sitting there.
If that's old man. That's Phil's
dad, Phil Sr.
Old Phil Sr.
Ugh. This is a creepy one. I don't like it. This is a weird strip.
I also love how he just, again, punched Phil in the face.
I mean, look at that picture there.
His jaws.
It looks like a boxing.
It's like those slow motion boxing photos. Yeah.
Because Dot is not that. He's just kind of pushing her aside. But he punches him in the face. I mean, it almost looks like a spy versus spy. Like you think his jaws, there's like teeth are going to come out of his mouth or something.
But it's also funny that like Phil and Dot are like getting frisky.
Yeah,
like,
you mean mushy?
They're like getting turned on watching this movie.
An old movie, yeah. Which that would mean it would be a movie out of the '60s, maybe late '50s, depending on how accurate.
Man, so Phil Sr. and Dot, something was going on,
and Phil murdered him, and now we know. And we're getting deeper and deeper into this. I don't know how much farther this can go.
How far does this go?
That is weird. I mean, that picture right there, that is
we need to save some of these because I feel like we need to take these to our other fellow Marmaduke expert, David Malky.
Yeah, and just be like, dude, look at this and tell me what's going on here. This isn't just a dumb dog joke. Yeah. This is like way beyond that. Because
I know, like we've talked about this, but Malky definitely seemed curious, but I feel like we need to present a little bit more evidence.
Yeah.
Because he did seem a little bit like, all right, guys.
You guys are weirdos. Yeah. You can see now, this is when last week when I'm like, oh, I saw this picture of him standing, and I was like, oh, what's going on here? I didn't read it ahead, but I did peek. That's Marmaduke.
That's Marmaduke.
Man.
And we gotta wrap this up.
That's the show.
But, I mean, I have been playing a lot of video games. I finished Uncharted 4. That was actually really fun. Really great experience.
Good.
Like, great story. Really good. I was like, there was periods where I'm like, I should stop because I need to go to bed. But I'm like, I got to find out how it's, and like, it's fun. It really puts you in the story and really great. And then, I already talked about this, but No Man's Sky was.
Didn't like that.
Gone Home. I was a freak. It was amazing. I played through it in like all in one sitting. But it's a great story and also cool, like exploring a house, finding secret passages. Like if you're an explorer person, like it's the ultimate, and like you find clues, and that's how you kind of piece the story together.
Nice.
I am almost on Dr. Wily and Mega Man 2, thanks to the save state feature in the Mega Man Legends.
Nice.
That will
Did you download?
I got it on the PlayStation 4.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's really great, and just going through, and it's still, I think that's the best video game soundtrack there is.
Yeah. Have you played any of the other Mega Mans or just
that? Well, now I mean, I guess I'm gonna take a stab at Mega Man 3, but it's the difficulty level is such a huge ramp up.
States, you got a chance.
Yeah, but even then, like,
so
hard. Mega Man 2 is at least like doable if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I've beaten Mega Man 2 a number of times.
Especially if you do like if you know the order and like you can because there's like certain weapons do like twice as damage, and if you know which weapons you use, you can like kill the boss like 2-shot the bosses and stuff. I currently on my game fly I got Doom. It's awesome. Even the deathmatch is fun. But like the campaign, it feels like Doom 3 felt like they were trying to like be like the other like shooting games. They're trying to, whereas this feels like Doom, just new and like
Doomier.
yeah, it's really fun. And then the new WWE game, way better than last year's game.
I'm surprised you've even played any of these other games now that you. Well,
I haven't, but I mean, I almost was going to cancel my GameFly just because for now at least, but they were like, if you don't cancel, we'll give you next month at 50% off, and I'm like, well, how can I say no to that? And so I didn't cancel.
Okay. I got you sucked in again.
But 2K17 is it's a big improvement on 2K16, graphics wise, gameplay wise. The submission system, it still feels very hard. Like it's this little mini game, and like the computer was able to get me to submit right away because I was messing up on the game, and I was like, no. The My Career is really fun. There's like a whole new promo mini game where you like choose what you want to say, and then the crowd will respond, and you can like basically do either like a good guy promo or a bad guy promo, but also depending on like what phrases you choose, like it makes you want to make a more cohesive promo and the crowd gets more into it. And like there's also different kinds of crowds, so like certain crowds will respond better. So it's like a really cool little mini game. That's I've been there's even a head-to-head promo where you're like trash talking against another guy, and it's really fun. So I like that. And then it's got so many, like the roster is huge, and I got the NXT edition, so I bought the NXT edition so I could play because I guess they're gonna offer them later as DLC, but I had to have Nakamura right away.
Oh, sure.
And it's just awesome having him, because I've had him in previous games, just like ones that other people made. So to have an official Nakamura with his entrance and his entrance theme is awesome, and AJ Styles. But yeah, that's awesome. So I've been doing that, and it's pretty much what I've been going on. You got lots going on.
Well, I'll run through them quick. I've been doing the Pokemon Shuffle and Pycross. Of course, I do those, each day.
Have you beat Pokemon Shuffle? Are you at the highest?
I might be. Like I'm stuck on the last one. I know what I need to do to get it, but I got to like build up some coins first. I'm also almost done with Pokemon Pycross.
That's crazy.
Picross. Sorry, Josh, if you're listening.
Oh,
ooh, motorcycle. I've been playing Professor Layton in the Azran Legacy, which is the last of the main Professor Layton series, and that's great. Runbow we talked about earlier, but that's a fantastic game. I'm playing that. A game called Freedom Planet, which I think that might have been one of the Humble Bundle ones that we got. But it's really good. It's kind of like a 2D like Sonic type of game where you run real fast and stuff. Been playing Link's Awakening after Luke beat it. I've been playing through it on my phone, or on my DS rather. We beat Twilight Princess finally, which is great. Box Boy, I just beat Box Boy, which is
I know you were talking a lot about that.
Oh, dude, that game is so much fun. And there's a second one called Box Boy now. So I gotta get that. It's really good. It's the same studio that did like Kirby, but it's like a little puzzle platformer, and it's really, really fun, real creative and fun one. I beat Mystery Case Files, Dire Grove, super great. And then I also just beat one called Azada, which is a similar like point and click mystery type of thing. And then Thomas Was Alone, which is like on lots of stuff. I have it on the Wii U, but it's a really cool like super like basic like pixel type platformer, but the story that goes along with it is really fun and creative. So recommend that one. It's probably super cheap in a lot of places. Yeah. And then playing a lot of that new Street Pass.
Yeah, which we've talked about.
Oh, so good.
You're still obsessed with that stock market.
The stock market one is great. I think I'm at like 6 billion now. Gosh. I'm working towards that 10 billion goal. I gotta make it.
I still haven't even made the first goal.
Oh, so much fun.
I'm not very good at it.
So much fun.
I gotta work on that. Well, speaking of working on things, we gotta work on wrapping it up because it's getting late. And be sure to go to BenVNetwork.com for all the other BenV Network shows, RadioBrendo.com, Amazon, all that stuff on there. And man, 275 episodes.
Yeah. Super cool.
Creeping up on that 300.
What are we going to do at 300?
I don't know. Shave my head again.
Watch 300.
Should we have another wager?
Yeah, we could. We could do that.
Maybe
was that at 200?
Yeah.
Only 200?
That was at 200.
I guess because we've been doing double, it's been going faster.
It's definitely been going faster.
Yeah. I guess we could do that. We'll come up
Well,
with
we
something.
should see what the audience.
Yeah, get any
get the
ideas?
audience
What do you
feedback.
guys want for 300?
I think we should. We definitely, as a bonus for 300. Here's a definite idea.
Okay.
For a 300 bonus episode, not the actual 300 episode, but for a bonus to celebrate 300, we should do a commentary to the Marmaduke.
For Marmaduke, that would be good.
Yeah, and it should be fresh. It should be us watching the movie for the first time.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. I'd be down with that. Special.
We'll have to order it on Amazon or something.
You have to actually pay money.
I don't think that's gonna be at a Redbox.
Is it gonna be on streaming anywhere?
Well, it's not on stream. We can probably get it on Amazon for like $3.
Yeah.
I'll use some of my Amazon credit or my Google Play credit.
Man, I can't believe we would pay money for it. But I mean, what if people watched it and nobody understood what was really going on?
I hope that the movie supports our theory.
What if it does?
I really hope it does.
I can't wait. Actually, I really am looking forward to it now. All right, we'll do that at least. But if other people come up with cool stuff, we could do other things too.
But it is got to be different because there's other talking animals, whereas in the comic, Marmaduke's the only one that's talking.
Well, sometimes.
That's true.
What about the Easter Bunny?
Oh yeah,
and he talks to the turkey. I mean, there's no rules. There's no rules in this universe. Yeah. He can do whatever he wants to.
Well, so we can say we'll do that. That'll be a bonus. But on actual episode 300, we're open to your suggestions.
Yeah, sounds good.
I think we should. Because, I mean, if we want to do another wager, I'd be willing to do that.
Yeah.
For something, can do some kind of competition wager. And I end up shaving my head again.
I will try not to moon the camera again in whatever we do.
Derek said he watched a video of me shaving my head.
It's a good video. It's pretty good stuff.
That's on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BrendoMan.
You get like a rat tail for a while.
For a minute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week. So for Radio BrendoMan, I'm Brendan Creecy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
Have a good one, everybody.
Sweet.
What did you say? Maze Madness?
Maze Craze.
Okay, that's good.
Maze Craze.
Yeah, dude, Knots was nuts.
Knots was nuts?
Nuts.
Nuts was nuts?
Like, the only lines, like, the shortest line after, like, 9 o'clock was, like, Voodoo was 45 minutes.
Yeah. That's long.
Dude, every year this happens where he has a couple kids that just, like...
Freak out?
Freak out. Oh, it's funny.
It was at the dentist one, huh?
Ugh.
Still on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hi.
Nobody's watching.
What's going on?
Live.
Maybe later on there.
All right. Later, everybody.
All right.